And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the KungFu Cup. KungFu Cup KFC week number 3. I'm of course just like VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, one all. Whew, it's been an intense day of StarCraft already here. I do apologize for not going live earlier today with the KungFu Cup. I was not able to. Lasted stay up late last night going through all the TLMC maps, and again didn't get much sleep. Didn't get any sleep at all, at least leading into the KungFu Cup, so I didn't feel like it would lead to a good broadcast and missing it. We should be able to catch up with future, or with that KungFu Cup via replays at a later date, but we're at least here, we're at least live with KungFu Cup. Let's go, baby, let's go. We're here, we are live with KungFu Cup. KungFu Cup, of course, is a weekly tournament, a weekly open cup that is organized by SC Boy. SC Boy being the main kind of, or the kind of bigger influencers over from the Chinese region, the Chinese scene, the biggest casters, I should say, tournament organizers. Of course, they're close and tied with Netties in their own way, and have been organizing many major events, like Rongi Cup, I'm thinking of Thunderfire, of course, Masters Coliseum, WTL, and KungFu Cup. So much love to SC Boy and all that they do, all that they bring to the table, all that they do organize, what they do for StarCraft. Let's go, baby, let's go. As again, we're jumping into our weekly tournaments. From here, we're going to be going into the quarterfinals, followed by the semis, followed by the grand finals. Thereafter, our first series is going to be a TVZ between, going to be a TVP between Clem and herO. Let's go. Let us go. Again, 2 of the best players in the world should be regulars in your eyes when it comes to these online events. They're going to be facing off once again here as we load into 10,000 feet. I feel like I have to take a bit of a step back here just because we have been... take a step back a little bit. A bit of a step back here just because we have been going through so many new maps over the past couple of days, and now we have to just come back to our regular map pool. we gotta take a step back. Step back. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the the blue Protoss. The blue Protoss player himself representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. The red Terran player himself from Atlanta, France. It is Clem. Here we go. So we are going to be jumping into our TVP. So we're hoping for a real light to happen since daylight savings no fix. If you recall, we did go live this Monday, with the Wardy TV Monday to kind of go in and to cover the event. But I will say that moving forward, we most likely won't be covering the Wardy TV Mondays live. I mean, we could try to, but I mean, at the moment, I'm still not really comfortable when it comes to ending a broadcast that late when it comes to Wardy TV Mondays and KungFu Cups. So I think for the near future, we're still going to be continuing to host those via replays instead of covering it live. It is a little bit better when it comes to its current start time, but the reality is, like, it's less conducive to us. Like, when it comes to a more technical aspect, less people watch us live than when we do via replays, just because most people are watching Wardy's channel, for example, or like some of the other streamers that do cover some of those events. So like for that aspect, like we just get less viewership whenever we do live coverage. The other thing, of course, is it does end later, and I have bunnies now. I've got bunnies, got to look after them, and yeah, having those kind of longer broadcasts, it's not really ideal. We have other responsibilities now, back. Other responsibilities. Here we go. Here we go. For now, we're going to be getting into our openers here. So far, we have our Gate Cyber Expand out of here. Sorry, Gate Expand to Cyber Core. So here we're going for a standard opener himself. Likewise, Clem going for his own Rax Expand Economic Opener out of Clem. Welcome to 10,000 feet. As I was about to say that we have a smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is often favored here, and we are going to be opening up with a Proxy Stargate. Very interesting location. Usually, Proxy Stargates are at the 3rd location or at the 4th location. They're typically closer to the edge of the map to be able to get into the middle lines faster, but here we're dead set in the center instead, so this is very unorthodox. I mean, in a way, there's a lower chance he's going to get scouted, especially because Clem does go, he did go for the Reaper Scout, he does hug the left-hand side, going to be zoned away, and does not find the proxy. Okay, he's going to be zoned back, now pivoting back around. Behind this is not quite in position. There is a tech lab on the way. This should be for a safety cyclone. Should be for a safety cyclone. And that will be the anti-air he needs to deal with the Oracle. But so far, the Stalker does poke in. Does 9 mining here at the natural. Reaper likewise attempting to go for the scout. But the Adept does keep up and is in position and will deny the scout. Let's go. Does deny. So now the Stalker does pick away. The Oracle goes to the dive. There's going to be 5 Vanilla Marines here to defend. Going to bring them down. Oh, not quite. Again, 2 popped out just in time to defend. We're going to knock down the Depot of all things. Okay. Oh no. Here's an A move. Does take down 1, 2 Marines, but the Cyclone does bring the Oracle down, and the Depot survives. Ooh, yeah, Depot does. I spoke too soon. Oh, it burns down. Yeah, no repairs in time. Okay, so we have a bit of a back and forth trade here. In the end, the Oracle, the Stalker do fall for 5 Marines and a Depot. Ideally, we did want economic damage. I mean, killing all those Marines does slow down the eventual push and does slow down, or does weaken this drop at least I should say. So some damage was done, but I mean, that was still some hefty losses. Behind this, I mean, there's no additional Oracle, there's no additional damage that's being done. Here back at home is now transitioning into delayed blink. Delayed blink here, delayed gateways. All this is delayed because of the initial proxy, because the investment into the proxy across the map. The drop is still coming online. And here has some catching up to do. Catching up to do. Oh. Yeah, Stalkers, they do attempt to engage. They do attempt, they break the lock on. That's going to be one Stalker going down. Remember, there's no blink. Remember, blink is delayed because of the Stargate. We do have reinforcements, we do trade, and we do at least catch the Cyclone. Okay. Cyclone goes down for 2 more Stalkers. We're getting a little bit messy. Bunker is going to be delayed here for Clem. I mean, he's not quite ready for this. Does have the tank though. Yeah, the tank is ready. I don't see herO diving on the tank here. Does have blink. Gets 2 SCVs. Okay, not bad. It's a nice pick also by herO. Nice pick also roll. Tempted to blink. Tempted, man. Claiming his 3rd. Oh. So beauty rotates, her tank is exposed. Nice pick up. Does bring down the tank. Tank goes down. Behind this, we are taking up. Again, charge on the way, extra gateways. These are all just pickoffs here to delay or to weaken the kind of push here from Clem. Soften any kind of move outs. I mean, Clem is down to 0 tanks, switching instead into ByuN. So better trades out of herO. Ooh, Clem, he does veer off. He does go for a bit of a doom drop. 3 medevacs across the map, but herO, he does not see this. Thankfully, does have some units at home to defend. But there is no recall. As Clem is moving in. herO, he still does not see this. Now he does. Okay, there's that recall. Oh, nice control. Breaks out one of the shots. But more importantly, due to the recall, this does force him back home. Right, herO, he's back home. At Clem, now he can breathe. Now he can expand, claiming a 3rd base. Rallying across the map. As herO actually blinking into the Marauders. Bold move. Yeah, herO blinks in, bleeds out a decent chunk of Stalkers, and herO, he may lose everything here. Yeah, that was not the blink that he should have gone for. Oh, yeah, herO just completely misjudging the game state. Like, what? herO! Patience, get out of here. So a wild blink out of herO, he gets punished quite hard. That's 9 Stalkers going down for barely anything. Oof. And hero's in trouble. Here at this point, he is in trouble. He has no splash damage behind this. Clem can just keep rallying in. He has a supply lead. Here he's hoping for a run by to try and distract, but there are reinforcements back at home. So Clem is fine. Clem is fine back at home. Mine shot's going off. Zelda's going to be going down. The Stalkers once again are exposed. And here he's hoping for maybe an overextension. He's hoping that Clem doesn't reinforce. The Widow Mines are not off cooldown. Okay. Links in. Zelda coming from behind. Okay. Ooh, even catching a full medevac. And here is surviving. As we mentioned before, the reinforcements were just a little bit too late. Just now coming in. So Clem did get caught out. And herO survives. It's still a very shaky game state here for herO, but he does survive. Again, thanks to the attempted Zelda run by Clem, he was stuck at home with his reinforcements, wasn't able to get across the map, couldn't support his army. Oh, gets one. Let's catch one Stalker. At the same time, Zelda's coming in from behind, getting a second Stalker. Zelda saves away mining time. And once again, they keep Clem back. Here, he still needs more time for any kind of splash damage. We have a second Robo on the way, the base on the way, but we're still a ways away here from Colossus. Here, needs more time. And he just doesn't have it. Yeah, not like this. The first Colossus has just now begun. Expansion goes down. A big pickup. Mine shots. I mean, herO does try to bait them out. Does try to force friendly fire. Ooh, Prism into the main. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, Clem is ready. He's ready for the Prism. Pushing further in. And here he does buy enough time to get the first Colossus out. Okay. Cleans up all the mines. Yeah, Clem has to get out of here. Once again, we do see herO with that Prism. Didn't do much damage, but kept everything at home. All right, all these reinforcements, they should have been across the map. They were kept at home. herO's holding. Catching Marauders. The Prism isn't even survived. Okay. Prism did make it out. And that turns the tabling. herO is still hurting economically, but I mean, he's got that first Colossus. Catching a mine. Does pick up wood of mine. I'm not too certain that herO can commit into this. He's going to attempt to. Yeah, pokes in. Mine shot's going off. herO, he needs to back up. Poking was fine, but he did commit too hard. Yeah, losing the Colossus. Immortal's going to be going down. Massive pickoff. Second Colossus is going to fall as well. And herO, he will plummet in supply. I was going to say that posturing here is fine to buy time for herO to re-expand as he's attacking his own building. But to just buy some time, right? To just re-expand and get back up economically. But here he pushed in far too hard. So the second time we've seen herO overextend this game. And the punish is here. Clem will 20 supply. Oh, takes down the Prism. herO cannot juggle back. Colossus goes down, and herO just cannot stand his ground, not against this heavy Marauder army. Clemmy stims, and he wins. Ah. Okay, just stimming on forward. Once again, herO doing the best he can to just drag the army away from his bases, just so he can build up an army. But he could only do so for so long. for so long. Down to a handful of units. Ooh, dragging here through the minefield. I'm scanning, checking for any other expansions. No other bases. Comes in. I mean, we once again impressive that hero's built up to 3 Colossus. He's kiting well. Oh my god, the lasers. Here he does trade well with his Colossus. There are no Vikings. Oh. Yeah, no Vikings here, despite that the borders are still almost break through. Cashing out 9 probes. Simming in once again. Getting on top of the Colossus. Gets 1. Gets 2. Finally. Clem, he just brute forces his way through. That was not the most efficient trade here for Clem. But he does break the Colossus. Just barely. And now we're down to 3 Stalkers. This is the main army. Down to 3 Stalkers. Just now warping in. We got some Disruptors on the way. Again, hero's been on the back foot for quite some time. I've been most impressed here that despite hero falling behind and despite hero taking some bad fights, he did have some really nice moments when it came to recovering, when it came to counterattacking, harassing, delaying reinforcements, taking better fights against smaller armies. I was very impressed. It's a shame he took those bad fights to begin with. It's but he did lock in. Since that first big engagement, it's been hero on the back foot. It's been on the back foot. With my waddling into the mineral line. Hero attempting to get a 5th base. But the 4th, no. Simming on forward, he gets 1, he gets both Disruptors. Ooh, 1 Nova goes off, okay. 1 massive Nova connects. But we need more than 1 Nova. We need more, Pappy. As again, the Gateway Army cannot hold its own. And GG gets called, and Clem, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem, he'll take a lead in the series. Again, some really unfortunate moves there from hero. I'm specifically referring to when he was defending his 3rd. He was defending his 3rd base, and then he blinked into the army. It was crazy. Like, he blinked forward. He didn't have any Zealots at the time, of course, and he lost 9 Stalkers. 9 Stalkers at the start of the game as he was defending his 3rd, and with that, he fell far behind when it came to the army supply, when it came to the quality of the army. Stalkers ideally meant to build them up over time. They're not built to trade, not like that. And hero, he was on the back foot ever since that moment. That's also when I specifically referred to the fact that he did go for a couple of Zealot round buys, which weren't doing any damage, but they were keeping reinforcements busy back at home, allowing hero to take some otherwise better fights against smaller armies of Clem. That happened twice. There was the Zealot round buy into the natural, and then the War Prism drop into the main base. Really impressive, right? Really impressive that we saw those moves out of hero to be able to take some better fights despite being at a deficit, so that allowed him to almost recover in that game. And then if you remember, that led into the moment where he pushed out with his Colossus, and then he pushed into the center 3rd, where he once again overextended and he lost all 3 Colossus. So again, hero just with a couple of rough kind of misjudging of like the armies, and did misjudge the strength of his composition and misjudge the strength of Clem's composition as well, and did take 2 really rough fights, which everything just kind of snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game 2. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. Let's go. Bit of a larger map. And this morning in the top right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing T1 down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. You can also argue that herO was in a really rough position and he was kind of forced to take these otherwise rough fights early on due to his Stargate opener. If you remember, the Stargate opener was very lackluster and herO had a very shaky start because of that. This time we should be seeing something a little bit more standard. The Stargate just did not pay for itself. It was not worth it. It really set herO in a worse position more than anything. We'll see. Show us what you got. We are going to be coming back. Once again, we do have an economic opener out of Clem, going for a Rax expand. Likewise, herO going for his own gate expand, sorry, gate cyber expand back at home. A bit of a tamer start out of herO this time. Pokes in, attempts to delay. That one probe being as annoying as possible. Let's go. Pokes in, pulls away. Behind this, just getting into our 1-1-1 setup. No fast second racks, no third racks, nothing of that nature. Reaper gets into the main, gets a probe kill, not bad. His shield battery is a couple of seconds too late. Ooh, almost getting another. Almost. And we have our take of choice, this time straight up Twilight Council, which Clem does scout. Scouts. Oh, the Adept is going to be thrown away here. Denies a little bit of mining time, but again, does fall. And the question becomes how many gateways back at home, right? It was a Twilight Council opener, but from here we can go 2 Gate Blink, 3 Gate Blink, or 4 Gate Blink Stalker. For the time being, it's going to be 2. So 2 gateways get thrown down. From here, herO can now expand. Looks like a more economic start. Second Adept does make it behind the mineral line. Once again, denying mining. This time does get away. And herO is going for a safety robo. Okay, he's going for a safety robo. I'm just hydrating. Just hydrating as Reaper does poke in, gets a probe kill, gets a full scout, and what's important here is that Clem is checking for gateways. Checking for the initial production setup. Does confirm only 2 gates, so only 2 gates into the robo into the third, so relatively economic opener here by herO, assuming he does expand. Speaking of, there's that third. Here he will claim his expansion. Behind this, herO hasn't seen much across the map, and what do we have on the way? Cloak Banshees. So a 3-1-1 setup into Cloak Banshees. herO did open up Robo, and the Observer is actually staying back at home. Is going to be able to spot the Banshee though, true. Does stay back home, does for the Banshee. Nice moves out of herO. And now he knows, right? Now without even scouting across the map, he's now fully aware it was a Banshee-based opener. He doesn't know if there's Cloak. That he's not certain of. But there's a second Observer as a reaction to the Banshee. Second Observer, now going for the Bay. Interesting. Very often we do see like these gateway openers into Blink, into a third, into Charge, but no, we're going to be delaying Charge in favor of Colossus. So faster Colossus production out of herO. Stalkers they poke out just to contain, just to spot any kind of move out. They face check. Get eyes on the natural. Hellion poking in. Does poke in. herO so far keeping up, deflecting, building up into his, again, earlier Colossus. And this is going to lead into a much faster, like, triple Colossus timing. Bear that in mind. The pressure is going to be on Clem to punish. And Clem does sneak out. Ooh, we're going to try to catch the Stalkers. So the goal here is to force a blink. Force a blink and then bam, catch him from behind. Oh, there's a blink. Oh, that was the time. Stim in. Stim isn't done. Yeah, Stim is not yet done. There we go, just not finishing. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3 dead Stalkers. Oh, can he get a third? He can. Ooh, no concussion. Never mind. No concussion shell. Despite that, ooh, does get 3 Stalkers. You can see Clem cutting him off. He wants the other 2. He wants him. Can he get him? With concussion shell, it would have been possible, but the Stalkers, yet they do slip away. Despite that, nice catch here by Clem. And here he has lost map control. He's lost map control. Back at home, he's got his 4th on location, on the low ground. As a reminder, remember, he did decide to delay or skip charge in favor of early Colossus. And so far, he has 1. Second Colossus now popping out. Banshees they pick in. Oh my god, hull damage. The Banshees, do they get a Colossus? No shot. No shot. The Colossus goes down to 2 Banshees. Yo, they're crazy. Oh my god. Observers, they were actually in the mineral lines. They were not in position to defend the bases or to defend the main army. And 1 Colossus goes down to the Banshees. That is brutal. Here comes the main army. And herO, I don't think he can stop this. Not anymore. Like, understand that the Colossus, that's the backbone of the army. To lose 1, I mean, that cuts the DPS in half. And here comes Clem. Yeah, here comes Clem. Yo, we got slow lots to defend. Let's go. Oh my god. Massive mine shots. Zelts go down. Again, prone to clumping as they do not have charge. Massive tank volleys. And baiting at the army. Sims in. Gets the Immortal. Gets a Prism. Takes in the Immortal, the Prism. Once again, baits the army within range of the tank. And there is another Colossus on the way. Oof. Mine just going off. Nice dodge. And with that herO, he's barely holding. He's barely holding on. I say that Clem is still reinforcing. The tank does send its ground. Charge just now begins. It's too late, man. It's too late. Not like this. Vikings are going him. Went down the Colossi. Down goes the Colossi, one after the other. And with that, herO has been broken. No more Colossi. Purely slow lots and Stalkers. The slow lots back. And there's no saving this. Like, he's got to pull the boys. herO getting desperate. He's getting desperate. Warping in whatever he can. Prism is going to be thrown away. Throws away the prism. Fourth base is going to be broken. And there's nothing else coming out here. There's no additional Colossus, no Disruptors. It's just an uphill battle. Maybe lands the Vikings. Didn't need them in the sky. GG gets called, and Clem, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem, he will claim the series. Winding it back here, herO, he did go for a quote-unquote greedier build. He went for a more tech-heavy build by going for the earlier Bay into earlier Colossus. This does mean that his gateway army was weaker, but in favor of the heavier Colossus counts. And we had a couple of key moments here for Clem, a couple of really impressive moments. The first big one, of course, was catching out the Stalkers. He was able to drop behind the army, come in for the surround, and catch out, what was it, 4 or 5 Stalkers. Heavy losses there for herO, losing map control. On top of that, the Banshees, they got more than they should have, to be honest. Initially, the Cloak Banshees didn't get any damage. They didn't really get any economic damage, I should say. Observers were in position in both the natural and the third. We even saw a cannon in position as well to help deter the Banshees. But because the observers were on the fringes on the expansions, they were not with the main army, and the Banshees, they actually found a free Colossus. That was wild. To kill one Colossus, that was huge damage, and of course that allowed for Clem to just push and to end the game. To push and to break that center expansion. Having one less Colossus is a massive blow to the army of herO, especially considering he had no charge, right? He had no charge, his gateway armor was lacking for all those Colossus, and he lost a Colossus before the main fight. Oof, GG. GG, well played, and with that, Clem will claim the series. Let's claim the series. Let's advance on to those semis, and he will advance on to face off against his next opponent. It's going to be another PvT, but a role reversal here. As always, it is going to be a PvT between Clem and ByuN. Let's go. Now it's time for Clem to play Protoss. SHIN. It's Clem's turn. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Oh, let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the French Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Ooh, as they spot each other. Oh, no. Yeah, the SCV gets spotted by the probe, and with that, the attempted the attempted proxy is denied. ByuN was trying to be cheeky. Hi, hello, Pappy. Nothing to see here. No. Smoge. Annyeong haseyo, as ByuN does pull away, does race back home. Again, attempted proxy is denied, and Clem can settle into his own opener. So far, so good. But yeah, what I was going to say about Clem in regards to the last game is just, I appreciate just how off the cuff he was, like how adaptable he was, specifically in regards to the Banshees, right? So typically, like, the goal of the Banshees is economic damage, that's all you're looking for, but to be as adaptive as he was to, you know, make use of those units and to find the Colossus and to do that damage instead is not something you see often. I don't think I've ever seen a Colossus hunted down by Banshees before. When it comes to this game, again, ByuN, his initial proxy is going to be zoned away, is going to be hunted down, and from here we can settle into our early game. Let's go. Settle into our early game. It is going to be a single Rax opener. Rax expand out of ByuN. It looks like a CC on the high ground out of our Terran player, just to be safe. Clem does confirm only one gas, and he confirms the location of the CC. So nice scouting here by Clem. He sees everything. Hi, smiley face. Yes. Exactly. No. Oh, do you see what I see though? It's going to be a Rax expand into a second Rax. So ByuN, it looks like he's going for a 3-Rax. A 3-Rax stim timing here from our Terran player, going for a very strong bio push. Very strong. As this will hit quite hard. We'll see how safe Clem is going to open up. He's going for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. Whether it goes 2, 3, or 4 gateways yet to be determined. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the robot as well for Clem. Keep an eye on it. As Reaper is hunted down. Behind this, Marauders are amassing. Stim is on the way. I believe so far Clem is yet to rescout. He's yet to confirm what's going on. For all he knows, it could be a 1-1-1. Could be a faster third CC. Clem is still playing blind. Back at home is at least getting his own second gateway. Robo as well, so he's playing somewhat safe. Somewhat. Pokes in. Gets eyes on the natural. Ooh, does commit to the shade. He does get met by the Marauder. Now he knows. Yeah, now he knows. A nice flank here by ByuN, catching out the army. It looks like the Stalker does get away. And does he adapt as well? He does. No shot. And it also does shade out. A nice move here by Clem. He escapes with all of his units. Does race out. And now he knows about the additional Raxes. Safety batteries on the way. Still expanding. Bold move. Still going for the expansion. ByuN is now rallying. Stim will soon finish. And again, ByuN wants to hit that Stim timing. He wants to hit it. And we just pulled the boys. Okay, we did. So I didn't quite notice the massive bubble blue in the minimap there, but we just pull the boys. Yeah, we pull the boys. We commit into the all-in. Once again, we did mention that Clem was being greedy by going for the faster third base, by not going for the third gateway, and with that, the natural is broken. Again, just breaks through the shield batteries, pushing in towards the natural. And can we get the immortal? The force field, very nice. Okay, very nice force field. SV is going to be going down. Clem does make a stand. He will save the immortal. We'll lose the Robo. Yeah, Robo goes down. The natural does get depowered. Pushing into the mineral line. But ByuN, he needs more damage. He does need more, and ByuN, he's going to lose everything. Every Marine goes down. He kills 2 probes. No shot. That is crazy, by the way. 13 SCVs for 2 probes. Ay. Clem, he survives on 3 expansions. Bear that in mind. Again, Clem, he was greedy. He was being greedy here. That should have killed, but ByuN, he pushed up into the ramp. He got caught by the force field. Oh, crazy blink. No, herO. Clem. Clem, he pulls a herO. He blinks into the army. 3 stalkers get thrown away. Nice little win here by ByuN, and ByuN is gearing up towards wave number 2. He's gearing up into the second wave. Clem, we gotta be careful. Calm down, baby. Calm down. We all have that herO in us, baby. Jesus. As charge is finishing up, extra gateways are being thrown down. Clem, he is, again, further ahead economically. He just needs a little bit more time for that economy to really kick in. Does need more time. Meanwhile, ByuN throws down 2 more Raxes. Yep, he's going for the second wave, the second all-in, as he pulls the boys once again. Pulls the boys back. Let's go. Clem will engage ahead of time. He does pick up a Marine. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 Marines go down. We have more batteries on the way. Clem, can he make a stand? There's a big stim. Massive stim here. Force fields will delay. Buying time. Pulls back those zealots. Warping in more stalkers. As he picks up more SCVs, there's another stim. The army's being overstimmed. Yeah, the army's running a team here, and ByuN down to a handful of units, lost all the SCVs, no more buffer. Oh no, GG. GG gets called, and Clem, he will survive the all-in. He will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. I'll be honest, I thought ByuN had it with the first push to break the natural base, to push all the way in towards the ramp, but going up the ramp was a little bit greedy there. If there was no force field, if there was no sentry, that would have been game then and there. But there was a sentry, there was a force field. Clem, he was able to cut the army in half and shut ByuN down. Impressive that Clem, he only lost 2 workers, only lost 2 probes in that first all-in. And that was it, right? It's all in for a reason. With it failing, that was game then and there. ByuN did build up into a second wave, hoping that maybe Clem was being too greedy, but Clem, he was getting extra gateways, he was getting immortals, he had safety shield batteries, I should say he had safety force fields with those extra sentries, and Clem did hold. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes the first game, and we're going to be loading in the game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So we are loading into that second game. Game 2 is going to be on Tourmaline. It's a hyper-aggressive series. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player for Land of France, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. As we are getting into our next series, our next best of 3, and again, an impressive defense there by Clem. Welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is another one of these maps that is also known for all-ins. Now, there are different forms, different variations of all-ins that you can go for. It doesn't have to be through into Pool the Boys. You can go for a 3-1-1. Sorry, you can go for a 3-1 setup into Pool the Boys with a tank-based all-in. You can maybe have something a little bit more sinister here as well, into a 4-axe, for example. So we'll keep an eye on ByuN. We'll see how hard he does commit. We'll see how aggressive he does plan on being, and we're expecting aggression out of ByuN. For sure. Aggression is expected on Tourmaline, as this is one of the more open maps in the map pool. Open and small. But here we go. Clem does just go for his own standard opener. In a position to delay, and ooh, does not block the expansion. And barely not in time. It is going to be a Rax expand here by ByuN, going for a single gas opener. Economic start. Oh, ooh, does get us around. Ooh, does get us around and kills the probe. That should not have happened. Very nice pick off. Behind this, we do have the initial Marine, no Reaper, no SCV scout, 0 scouting across the map. ByuN is cutting corners, and Clem is playing blind. So a rougher start here for Clem. As he does lose the probe. Behind this, going for a Stargate opener. That is a bold move here by Clem. Oof. We bring this up all the time here, but Stargate openers are ideal when it comes to building up into the mid game, but it does leave you quite vulnerable in the early game. It does leave you very, very vulnerable to these all-ins. And again, we're expecting an all-in out of ByuN. For now, though, just going into zone 1-1-1. Standard opener. He is going for a reactor Marine, no add-on swap, but just singular Hellion for some scanning information. Curious to see where the tech lab gets thrown down and how it's being used. It is going to be Phoenix first here by Clem. Oof, okay. He's opening up Phoenix. Let's remember, this used to be the go-to style, the go-to build quite some time ago. Sort of in 2020, 2021. Quite some time ago. Opening up with a Marine Mine Drop. Bearing in mind that ByuN has not scouted the Stargate yet, he's unaware. Stargate into Twilight Council, not into Robo Colossus. Okay. He's spotted. ByuN, he does start up his Cyclones. Building up extra Marines. Yeah, he saw the Phoenixes. I was curious if he saw the Phoenixes with the Hellion. It was within vision. And looks like he did notice. He's ready. Typically, if you go into Phoenixes, you don't go into Blink. This should be a charge-based follow-up. No, Blink as well? So the reason why I did mention that we often don't see these two tech paths at the same time is because they both have the same role, right? Phoenixes, they're designed to shut down drop play. Blink Stalkers also designed to shut down drop play, also designed to gain map control as well. Usually we see Phoenixes paired with Colossus or paired with Charge Lots just to complement the Phoenixes. Here it's a bit of an odd choice. It's also a lot more gas intensive as well. Of course, we are stopping Phoenix production, so just building up to 3. Hellion's going to be shut down. If you notice, the Stalkers intentionally hid themselves. This is, again, just to hide the follow-up. As we mentioned before, the standard follow-up is either Charge or Colossus, but Clem does hide his Stalkers. ByuN is just building up. So far, 2 SCVs. 2 SCVs going down, ByuN going for his own counter drop. Clem is pushing out. As he attempts to distract in the main. While he distracts the main army, he's going to be pushing in. And we'll see whether if Clem does pull the trigger. Still waiting outside. Outside the expansions. Getting 1, 2, 3 SCVs. Getting, sorry, 4 in total. Getting it to 5. And Clem, can he catch out this army? He does get a Cyclone. Not bad. Very nice force fields. Catching a Cyclone. Catching out Marines. Very efficient pickoffs here by Clem. And just pick. Oh my god. Just picking away at the army. Pulling it apart. Every Marine goes down. And now we can just give chase. Doesn't blink in. Not this time. Baits at the stim, and ByuN should lose everything. He should lose everything here. Losing the tanks and Marines and Motors at the same time. Does drop into the main. 6 probes, not bad. It drops into the main base. There's the recall back home. And recalls back. Does lose a lot of workers. A lot of workers do fall. Another bit of an awkward engage here, losing even more Stalkers. Again, only recalled a handful of units. Oh, and there's a messy cleanup here by Clem, losing 14 probes. Ay, ay, ay. He'll lose the entire mineral line. Any kind of big advantage that Clem had, I mean, he's losing it. Yeah, he is now losing it. Behind this, do you see what I see? Instead of a 3rd TC, 2 more maxes. Wow, 2 more maxes get thrown down. No 3rd command center. ByuN is still committing. Clem is in danger. From here, he's taking him in towards Colossus. He needs more time. And ByuN may just pull the boys. He may just commit. Going for the mine drop. And does 9 mining. Nice mining. Here comes the massive push across the map. Oh, medevac does fall. And he does pull the boys. Let's go. I mean, no surprises here. We expected a 2-base all in. But again, Clem played out the early game so well up until the fumbled recall. And here he comes. It's all or nothing for ByuN. It's all or nothing. Cashing out all the Phoenixes. One Phoenix does barely get away. We knew those force fields. Okay, nicely done. Tries to catch out the army, but the SVs they pull away in time, and massive mine shots. Catching out the zealots. ByuN's army trickling in. We do have a couple of force fields. Ooh, no, sentry goes down. Yeah, sentry goes down. No more force fields, just purely stalkers. ByuN, can he break through? Can he do it? No, he's trying. The Colossus pops out just in time. Wow, just in time. With the help of the Colossus, Clem, he should be able to hold on here. Pulls back to his batteries. Colossus moving in. It's a heavy Marauder army. And Clem, can he hold on? Oh no, the Colossus, no! It never extends. Yeah, he does overextend. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. ByuN with this heavy Marauder army. He can trade with the Stalkers. He can trade. Again, it was so close, but ByuN, he's breaking through. He's breaking through. Catching out sentries, Stalkers. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played with that. ByuN does tie up the series here. Again, Clem, he was playing out the early game so well. And then we had that one drop in the main base. Clem, he went for the recall, but he missed his army. He recalled only 3 stalkers out of the massive army that he had. And in that moment, ByuN killed 14 probes. 14 probes went down. Clem, he lost what should have had, which it should have been an economic lead. It should have been a massive economic lead there for Clem, but he lost everything. 14 probes went down. So his economy was stifled, his army was lacking, and ByuN did break through. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is a ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is a Clem. Here we go. As we are getting into our ace match here. And again, Clem, he had that last game. He had it. He was doing so well. He was just punishing. He was clinically destroying, just picking apart the army of ByuN. But we spoke about it. ByuN, he snuck out with a singular marine drop, one medevac full of marines, I should say, into the main base of Clem. And again, Clem, he recalled, but he did miss his recall. He only recalled 3 stalkers. That led into a very messy main base defense where he lost 14 probes. And the earlier trades, the stronger start that Clem had, was all for naught. It was all for nothing, as it did lose that lead, had to recover from that, and then it led into, of course, that final all-in, which was still quite close. It was still a very, very close all-in. Very close. And we'll see where our players take us this time. Take it away, man. Take it away. Once again, economic opening here by ByuN. We'll see if Clem does go for a Stargate again. Typically, a Stargate opener is something you want to do once in a series. You don't want to rely on it. I would say that the Stargate opener last game didn't really do much. I mean, it did at least keep ByuN pinned back at home for a time, but I mean, he still got across him up with the drop. Like, it did not deny the drop play. So I would say the Phoenix opener was less than ideal. Show us your attack this time. As we hide the probe. going back in. We can see it was Marine first, not Reaper. So Rax expand into Marine into Reactor. And Probe does confirm the lack of Reaper. Oh, opening up Zealot first, okay. Zealot first opener. The goal here is to delay the CC. We'll see if he can. Dives on the SCV and will delay. Meanwhile, ByuN being hyper greedy, going for 3 CC, 3 racks. A very fast third command center here behind the main base. ByuN does love to mix this build in. First time he's doing it this series, but a hyper greedy build, and this often does snowball out of control in the mid game. If you recall, we saw something similar last night between ByuN and Classic, if you recall. If you missed it, I do highly recommend tuning into the finals of Tuna Cup last night. But ByuN, instead of going for the third base here, he went for the third base on location at the 4th location. Basically like a ninja fourth. Going 3 CC 3 racks. It was wild. And he got away with it as well. He got away with it. Here, he's being a little bit more reserved by having it in his expansion. Is more reserved. And from here again, we're building up into that sim timing, we're building up into a greater economy. So far, Clem has yet to scout. Clem, he has not scouted, he has not confirmed, he does not get eyes on what is going on. He doesn't know how greedy his opponent's being, and he himself is going for his own 2-gate blink opener. Okay, 2-gate blink into a robo, into a third. A relatively economic start, not as greedy as we could have seen, but economic nonetheless. Which means that Clem won't punish. That's what's important here. Clem will not punish ByuN. ByuN will get away with this. One of the reasons why Clem won't punish is because Clem doesn't know. Clem he hasn't seen. Has no eyes in the main. So a very strong start here for our Terran player. I see in the chat, does number 4 start in an hour? It does. It does. We will not be casting it live. It starts a little bit too late for us, so... We'll be covering that next week, Matthew. Next week. So our players are building up. From here, Stim is on the way. Combat shields. We shouldn't be too aggressive and too assertive with this timing, bearing in mind the whole purpose of this build for ByuN is a faster 2-base saturation and faster 3-base saturation. Faster third. And again, Clem has no idea. Still has no idea. Observer picks in. Clem now confirms. Now he does confirm the 3rd CC. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Clem does spot the move outs, trying to engage ahead of time. Does attempt to engage. And we just step in. Yeah, we just step in, catching a 1, 2, 3 stalkers. Nice, because the batteries are too late. Yeah, the batteries are too late. Battery gets denied, gets depowered. Bearing in mind that this sim timing was not meant to kill and was not meant to do too much damage here. So far trading. Bold sim. Catching out more stalkers. Ooh, brutal trades. Yeah, brutal trades. Remember, ByuN, he won't kill, but he will trade with the stalker army. Behind this, he has his 3rd. Clem losing 9 stalkers. I'm reminded of Clem versus herO, to be honest. we had a very similar setup. As 9 stalkers go down. And soon it'll be time for ByuN to expand. He's waiting for the counterattack. Is lying in wait. Clem pulls away. Still no splash damage, bear that in mind. He did delay splash damage in favor of charge, in favor of a heavier gateway count. Here comes the third base. Clem does confirm. And here he comes. And Clem moving out with everything. Let's make away. Trying to bait at the army. Here come the charge ults. And Clem pouncing in. He can't take the better fights. Boys are being pulled. Interesting target firing. Does get one, does get two stalkers. A good target firing there out of ByuN. Prism will warp in, and no, gets denied. Prism gets denied. Despite that, the Zelts do overwhelm. Yeah, Zelts are overwhelming. Stalkers, they dive on the medevac. Stalkers gonna be cleaned up. But this might still be too much. This might still be too much here. 9 dead SCVs. Clem losing a massive, sorry, ByuN losing a massive chunk of his army. Clem reinforcing. And it could just go for the natural. Where are we going back? Clem is waiting for reinforcements, waiting for Storm. Going for his drop into the main. Ooh. Clem does barely drop in. ByuN responds. Dives into main, shuts down the prism, denies the warp in. Bunker is empty. And we do land some storms. Storms aren't too bad here, as else they do peel off into the mineral line. They're going to be cleaned up. They do get 8 SCVs. 9 SCVs going down. How about Clem? He's zoned away. Yeah, messy engage here out of Clem. Does pick up 12 workers, but ByuN has built up a greater army. Oh, tries to move in. He's got his EMP. He's got the EMP drop here, chasing back Clem. ByuN now moving out with the terrifying army. We spoke about this earlier, but again, ByuN, his big power spike was going to be here in the mid game, right? He's got the better economy, had the faster third base setup. Clem is trying to catch up. EMP grazing the army, no major connection. Oh, EMP lands. There's still one storm. Still one storm left. Clem does hit the third. ByuN turns back around. Turn back around for a moment. He's still pushing. Still pushing, still very tense. A lot of this comes down to the storms. A lot of this will come down to the storms. I won an advantage for a long time. Yeah, if you missed it, we were making reference to the greater economy of ByuN that's led into the greater army, greater upgrades. Due to the economy. That's kind of where all that stems from, we should emphasize. He doesn't quite land. Clem likewise also maxing out. How many high Templar does he have? 4. 4 Templar, 2 of them in the prism. EP lands. Oh no! The prism! Ooh, prism goes down. Yeah, massive pick up EP lands as well. There's one storm, another EMP, 0 storms. Yeah, 0 storms, which means ByuN can just take the fight. Yeah, he just stim in, he just stim, and he can just win. Yeah, stims on 4, takes down all the zealots, breaks through into the stalkers. And Clem, his army just crumbles. Again, some crazy EMPs there out of ByuN. He caught everything. He caught the prism, he caught the high Templar. 0 storms. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will overwhelm. He will claim the series 2-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played, ByuN. He will claim the series. Again, a very greedy build here by ByuN, going for the faster TC. And remember, it took a long time for Clem to scout, and Clem did not punish. He was not able to punish the build. He himself went for his own economic opener on his side of the map. We saw that ByuN was able to outtrade, push out across the map, catch 9 Blink Stalkers across the map as well, kind of stifling the main army. We saw that Clem was forced into his own counterattack and did kill some SCVs, but because of ByuN's greater economy, he could afford to lose some workers. He could afford to lose SCVs. These were losses that he could sustain while still building up his army, while still building up those greater upgrades, and eventually snowballing out of control. GG. GG, well played. Again, and again, of course, impressive EMPs there by ByuN, landing on everything he needed. The Prism, the High Templar, multiple Templars. GG. Whew, GG, well played. With that, Clem is out. Clem is out of the tournament. ByuN is in. ByuN, he'll advance on to the grand finals, and ByuN is going to be facing off against the winner of KURE and SHIN in the other semis. Oh boy. Here we go. We're going to be cutting to a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have SHIN versus KURE up next in that best of 3 semifinals match. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals, to the second half of the broadcast here for the KungFu Cup weekly number 3 for the year of 2026. We just wrapped up with ByuN versus Clem, and ByuN did take down Clem 2-1 to advance on to the grand finals. And ByuN is waiting for the winner of this next series. It's going to be a best of 3 between SHIN and KURE. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our TVZ. We're jumping into game 1. It's going to be here on Winter Madness. Again, SHIN is always a fun player to watch and a kind of a difficult player to really get a read on. As of late, SHIN has been hyper aggressive. We've been seeing a lot of two-base play. I'm reminded about his series versus Percival, his series versus ByuN from STC a couple of weeks ago, where SHIN, he went nothing but two-base play, either going to two-base layer into mutas, two-base layer into hydras, or two-base layer into roaches. It was just a variation of two-base play game after game after game after game. We'll see if that trend is continuing here in KungFu Cup. As spawning in the top right, in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran. For Team Liquid, it is KURE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing himself. It is SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. So we do have our initial hatch first built here out of our Zerg player, and we'll see where he takes us from here, whether he does go into a delayed link speed and earlier lair, which is something we have seen a lot from SHIN over the past couple of weeks. We'll see if he once again relies on that style, or if he does go into something a little bit different in this TVZ. Oh, as we are going for 2x Reaper out of KURE. So 2x Reaper out of our Terran player here. Technically, we could throw down a third Rax behind this on the high ground. Wait, hold on, my apologies, as we have not taken gases. I was curious because of the peculiar placement of these Raxes, but yeah, delayed gases here from KURE. So my apologies, this is 2x Marine. And I believe the goal should be to hunt down this Overlord into a bunker rush. Yeah. So very often here, the goal is to hunt down the Overlord, deny vision, deny scouting, build up your Marine count early on, and you can be cheeky, send out an early SCV, set up a bunker outside of the third base, and try to force a cancel. So we'll see if he goes one step further and does send the SCV across the map. For now, the goal should be to try to catch the Overlord. Bearing in mind he doesn't know where it is. He's not fully aware. Overlord coming in towards that natural. And KURE's looking for it. You can see, oh. Yeah, KURE, he's hunting for the Overlord, and oh, he barely will miss it. Oh no, yeah, barely does miss it, barely does not see. He just moves out. Yeah, he just moves out anyway. The Overlord doesn't quite get much vision here. Spots are deep on the low ground. That is a bit of a tell. Marines are moving out. No SCV. Yeah, no SCV across the map, so the goal here should just be to break through. Behind this, going for a third Rax? What is going on? Okay, KURE. Show us what you got. I assume this will just lead into a 2-on-1, but no, we have a third Rax on the way. A heavy stim timing coming here for KURE. He moves out to shut down a natural, but there is none. Sorry, the third, I meant to say. He's moved out to shut down the third. SHIN does go for a delayed third base. He stays on 2 bases, builds up his drone count, and we have 100 gas, no link speed. Ooh, no link speed out of SHIN. Remember, what did we say at the beginning of the series? SHIN has been loving 2-base lair. 2-base lair, time and time again. We're expecting a lair out of SHIN. There it is, 2-base lair. We've seen this every game over the past couple of weeks in SHIN's TBZs, non-stop 2-base lair, and as we mentioned at the start of the game, at the start of the series, it's either 2-base Muta, 2-base Hydra, or 2-base Roach, and we have the answer, Roaches. So Roach Warren gets thrown down. Overlord pokes in, confirms all 3 Raxes. Big scout here by SHIN, and the Roach Warren is going to work beautifully here. Now, bearing in mind, Roaches, they do struggle against a bio tank army or marauder heavy army, but remember, there's no factory. There's no factory, so there's no tank production. Likewise, Cure didn't scout. Cure doesn't know what's going on. For all he knows, it could be 2-base Muta, which means there's no marauders, right? Against a Roach heavy composition, marauders are necessary, but you have to scout first to know you have to make marauders, and Cure has not scouted. All he knows is that the throw is delayed. So in his mind, it still could be 2-base Muta. So with that, SHIN is amassing, building on more Roaches. Soon Cure will pull the trigger. No shot, he waits for the factory and waits for the starport. No shot. Yeah, here he comes. Here comes Cure. He is now pushing across the map. Heavy ByuN army. Heavy back. And he's going to be running into all the Roaches, but so far, he might get on top of the third. Does scan, does spot the Roaches, he knows. Yeah, SHIN, he has to be careful. I mean, both players do. Roach speed is almost done, and once Roach speed is finished, then SHIN can just commit. He's going for it, he's chasing. He does give chase. Yeah. Yeah, 5 more seconds. Behind this, Marauder production finally begins. As we mentioned before, he just didn't know there were Roaches. Like Cure did not know. Didn't realize. That's why his Marauders are so delayed. Marines getting picked up. There's the first stim. Yeah, we just commit. We just commit to the fight here. Picking up, what, 4 or 5 Roaches. Behind this, SHIN is droning. So SHIN, he has no intention to all in. He's droning up behind this. Oh, getting into burrow and tunneling claws. Okay. SHIN. Have my attention. But SHIN does pull away, building up his Roaches, getting into tunneling claws. Meanwhile, Cure, he has a very late third CC, incredibly delayed. This was essentially a 2-base all-in out of Cure, and the all-in has failed. So Cure, he's stumbling his way into the mid game. The longer this game goes on, the better it should be for SHIN. I mean, it's difficult to really say that with certainty, just because both players had delayed economies. SHIN also had a late third. Cure also has a late third, so it's like, it's it's very messy. It's very, very messy. ¿A dónde está Ronaldinho? Oh. As Cure sims in. And Cure sims in. SHIN half his armies across the map. Going for his tunneling claw run by. Alright, he's tunneling in. Double jump into the main. Again, Roaches, they're not the most mobile army. Having a hard time keeping up. Having a hard time getting 1, getting 2, getting 3 Roaches. Main army moves out. SHIN, we gotta do something here. There's a turret. Yeah, turret back at home. Once again, Cure stims in. The Marauders had a lot to the army. They had a lot. Nice micro. Reveals Burrow. But I mean, there was a turret back at him anyway, so he had to show. There was no downside in showing it. He already had. And our players are building up. SHIN, he's going to be the first to max out. He's almost there. Remember, Curious Sword is incredibly delayed. That's why Curious having such a hard time building up his own army. But he does have a very strong defensive setup here. He's got bunkers, tank lines, turrets as well. He's very secure here on 3 bases. Or at least between his 3 bases. Also bearing in mind that when SHIN does max, it is an inefficient army supply, as he does have his Roach Ravager of all things. It's a very inflated army supply. There we go. But he does incorporate a couple of infestors. We have 3 infestors in the mix. And we got those fungals. Are Marines healed when they're inside the medevac? No. It's not the case. Yeah, it's nice fungal. Yeah, fungal does land. The piles they do. Ooh, crazy army. The tanks they do punish. Yeah, massive tank shots. If I remember correctly, I think that was something they were messing around with StarCraft Evolution. I don't know if that was in Brood War or something they played around with SC Evo, but the idea of if a medic was inside of the medevac, sorry, was inside of a dropship with Marines, and the medic would heal the Marines. But that's specific to like Brood War / SC Evo. But not the case in SC2. But you might be thinking about Brood War. As Ragnarok, he does collapse in. Nice around, catching up both tanks. From here, Cure backs off. Both armies are maxing out. At this stage of the game, I would say that Ragnarok, or I should say SHIN. He's Ragnarok in game at the moment. But SHIN, he has too much supply in roaches. He's trying to make that transition to Hive Tech into Ultra Tech as well. The upgrades aren't really lined up for it. He's working on +1 melee. He needs a little bit of time for the Ultras to really hit their stride. Likewise, we are forgetting +3 carapace. That's still not quite being researched. Oh no! Roach is getting caught out. A bit of a saving grace. SHIN, he has to get rid of them. He has to get rid of these roaches. Needs to free up supply. Bailing speed now begins as well. There's a window in time here where the army is a little bit vulnerable. Before kindness plating and before bailing speed. Q's moving in. Here he does rotate. Oh. Security does threaten to dive. Mine's just going up. Does connect with Ling Bane. Yeah, Ling Bane going down. Ultra does get sniped. Remember, no kindness plating. The Ultras, they're vulnerable. Oof. Yeah, massive mine shots. That's going to be, what, 2, 3 Ultras going down. The Ultras, oh no, they're made out of paper. Dragging the army through the minefield. Ooh, massive connection. The fungals. Oh my god. SHIN. Massive fungals. Who needs bailing speed? Just fungal the army. The slow bailings connect. And SHIN holds. Whew, SHIN does hold. If it wasn't for those fungals, Cure, he would have traded so much better there, catching up more Ultras, pulling away. But very nice fungal there from SHIN. The MVP back. And with that, SHIN holds. And finally, all the upgrades finished. Kindness plating, bailing speed, more importantly. It's all now done. Yeah, Yeah, KURO going for the backstab. At the same time, SHIN is moving out. There's a cancel on the expansion. Another drop here in between the bases. But SHIN, he just wants to go. He just wants to send it. The Mantra going off 2 more lines. Catching up Molding Pain. Ultras, they try to battle their way through the Liberation Zones, through the tanks as well. Yeah, messy fight here from SHIN. But it looks like he might still have enough. Yeah, Medivacs, they do get caught out by the Biles. Ultras waddling in. SHIN, he's breaking through. Oh my god. Yeah, there's the Unborrow, bit of friendly fire. Gets into the mineral line. SHIN, he barely breaks the main army, and he gets 10 SCVs. Not bad. Yeah, takes down 10 SCVs, 10 workers. Pulling back. Still reinforcing. We're still getting messy. And GG. He runs out of steam here. I didn't realize that SHIN, he was that all in, and he fails to break through. He fails to break through, traded with the army, did not break the expansion though, and KURO will take the game. GG, well played, as KURO does take it. SHIN, alas, pushing into that siege line, especially because he also didn't have any infestors to support the army as well, was brutal. He had no infestors with the army. We saw one towards the end after the fight had concluded, but to fail to get into a mineral line, to fail to break an expansion, GG. GG, well played. With that, KURO, he does survive, he does defend, he does take the first game, and with that, we're now getting game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Again, I'm still impressed that SHIN was able to survive the first big push and make it into his ultras, make it into his ultra tech. But was very committed, and with that, we're now getting into our second game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership. We have the South Green Terran. We have the Blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is KURO. I'll fix up the names. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Green Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg. It is SHIN. I'll fix it up. Here we go. So we are going to be settling into our second game. KURO leading the series 1-0. And they get a very intense game number 1. Very messy as well, as you mentioned. Very low eco initially, with KURO playing 2-base all in, and with SHIN going to 2-base Roach as well. So very low eco. SHIN eventually got into his Hive Tech, eventually got into all of his Ultras, but as you mentioned, he did just commit. He committed across the map once he got his upgrades, and he failed to kill. Expensive losses there for SHIN. That's all he had. Oh, CC first? Let's go. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Because the map is so large, you can get away with CC first. You see it quite often in all matchups. So we have the faster command center. Likewise, SHIN going hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of SHIN. Meanwhile, greedier build out of KURO. The greed map. When it comes to Mothership itself, it's a very large map. It's also a very open map as well. There are a lot of angles of attack, and very often we do actually favor Zerg players in longer game states. So we're expecting some more aggression out of KURO in the mid game, specifically in that mid game. They should have an update for that. I don't think there's any call for like additional utility for Bio Terran in the meta. At the moment, the idea of having to drop units to heal them and having that's like that counterplay is more preferable. But here we go. Here we go. For now, we do have our initial setup here. Third base is now being taken on time. I did mention earlier that for quite some time now, we've seen nothing but 2-base lair out of SHIN, but for the first time in a while, we do have a standard opener and no additional gases either. So no faster lair this time, but part of that is the map itself, right? It is Mothership. You do want to be more economic and more greedy on this map. does lean in that direction. This is something that I have to like wrestle with myself at the moment, actually. Fun fact, I guess we'll see a little bit more of that tomorrow morning. Yo, all the days are blending together here. No, tomorrow morning. On Friday, I should say. Sorry, on Friday. And that is the upcoming TLMC stream. In regards to the fact that this map is more open and more exposed, that is true, but because of the length of the map and the fact that it's 3-player spawn, like we often do see a more economic builds on Mothership. I still haven't gone through the dynamic maps. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of want to do it on stream, so look forward to that on Friday. For those that are not quite aware, we did have a TLMC judging stream yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And we went through all the standard maps, and we went through all the rush maps as well. And Fridays when we have the dynamic maps, which is where we have like 3-player spawn maps, 4-player spawn maps, like the crazy stuff. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, I've already encountered a couple of interesting wild maps, to say the least. which it's difficult to really like gauge like how extreme they are at times. For those who haven't seen them, there are a couple of maps that have been submitted which have healing shrines in the center, like in between like the two main bases, so like even more extreme than Persephone. Persephone had a healing shrine, but it was still off to the side, if you recall, in the center of the map, but off to the side, whereas here we have some healing shrines in the main attack paths, which is a lot more, and also closer to your opponent's bases as well, because they're smaller maps, so they're a lot more impactful, a lot more influential, and arguably too much so. Like it's yeah, arguably. It's one of those things where we haven't seen healing shrines be that influential before in competitive maps, and because of that, like it's harder to judge like how imbalanced, if at all, it is, or if it's something that we want in the game. Bearing in mind as well that for Persephone, they also had air blockers, which I think is important. I think that is a good thing. If you don't have air blockers, then that means that's like Banshee Harass, or more specifically Oracle Harass, is less punishable. Like a big part of PvZ is the Oracle goes in, takes a little hold damage, and then the Oracle's that much weaker for the rest of the game. With a healing shrine, that takes that away, right? That allows for Oracles to have more sustain, more viability. But regardless, we're just calming down. We're just droning up. Behind this was a standard opener, so throw TC into Banshee play. Ooh, no Spore at the 4th base. Likewise, no Overseer yet either. Wait, what? Okay, there's a lair. There's a lair, a late Overseer. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 drones. Very nice damage here by Cure. Nothing game ending, but nice damage nonetheless. 4 drones. 4 drones, no detection. Banshees, they dip into the main base, and they will get eyes on the main. Shouldn't get further damage here. The Queens, they do respond. But nice threatening force nonetheless. Behind this, we're droning up towards 80. 81 drones for SHIN. Cure likewise getting to 3 base economy, and we should be seeing a 4th TC soon. Should be seeing a 4th command center. From here, when it comes to the composition of choice, it's going to be Ling Bane Hydra. Ooh, as the Banshee does fall. But we'll be Ling Bane Hydra out of SHIN. No roaches, not this time. I should also emphasize that this is going to be a heavier investment into Hydras. What I mean by that is no +1 melee. There's no melee upgrades, +1 range instead, so a heavier commitment into Hydras, less so on Ling Bane. And here comes our first push out of Cure. Here comes our first move out, so we can morph in Hellbats to help support the tanks. There they come. And he does catch all the Banelings. Yeah, Banelings get caught unsieged. They get caught morphing in. You know what I mean. Oh no. They're not sieged that bad. So nice catch. At the same time, Ling Rambai does hit the 3rd. Will distract Cure. The Cure's distracted. Forced to defend back at home. That will delay his push. Banelings are finishing. Shin buying more time, ready for another Baneling run by this time. And Kira, what's the plan? Does turn back around. Yeah, he missed his window. Waiting for more army, waiting for more reinforcements. Banelings, they do make it into the mineral line. Oh, just barely. Yeah, no major connections. The wall is broken, has to be rebuilt. Quick moves there by Kira. Does rebuild the wall. Lings, they attempt to go for the run line. Get on top of the tank. It's quite a big dive. Yeah, it's going to be messy here. At the same time, Curie does them in. Yeah, Sims into the 4th base. Decent spread here by Cure. Banelings, they do connect though towards the end. Okay. Do somewhat connect, but Curie's breaking through. Yeah, Curie's breaking on through. Getting on top of the expansion. Banelings rolling in. Oh, they barely do connect. And Shin is holding. Whew. Shin, he's barely holding on here, catching out the Marines, getting on top of the tanks. Again, some of the splits here, some of the spread was lacking. It was lacking here for Cure. Taking extra Baneling shots to the face. And Shin does barely hold. At the same time, did kill the tank, didn't kill many SCVs across the map. Didn't get too much done. Yeah, 3 SCV kills, 5 in total. He rotates. Ooh. Does rotate over. We get some decent mine connections. Nice spread here against those Banelings. And now he's getting to the Hydras. And here a better trade for a Cure. Initially. But now here come reinforcements as Shin does hold. And we're getting messy. Both players with comparable economies. Cure now getting his own 4th base up and running. As he does though, Shin does go for a ling run by. Nice catch on the Queen. Ooh. And nice catch on the Queen. Lings, they don't hit the 4th. Once again, Cure trying to get into the Hydras, but barely doesn't have enough bio. Barely not. As Lings had deny mining, these were fresh mules. Nice deny. Nice run by. Catching out 2 SCVs, delaying any kind of mining, and also distracting the reinforcements. Distracts Cure. Shin holding onto his northern base. Cure, he's been 8-raxing? Yes. Okay, he has been 8-raxing. What does that mean? That means that Cure, he isn't taking up. Like, he's staying on a very, very cheap army. Very marine heavy. Just marine mine. Getting into 3-3. Which means as time goes on, he's going to be outscaled. Oof. Yeah, this time Banelings, they crash through. They crash on through. We get an okay connection. Oh, the SCVs! The SCVs get called out. 12 SCVs going down. Could have gone for more, but the 3rd base has been broken. It takes down the 3rd. It takes down the mineral line. 17 SCV kills. At the same time, Cure does take down an expansion. Nice double drop. Triple drop even. Takes down a base. Moving forward. Oof. Brutal mine connections. But Cure is hurting. Cure is still hurting that much more. As Cure's economy has been stifled, has been crippled. And my big concern here are the lurkers. Lurkers are on the horizon. We were kind of leading into this. The issue with an ARAX is basically an all-in that Terran has. It leaves you on a very low-tech army, and the goal is to kill. The goal is to overwhelm and kill your opponent. If you fail to do so, then you fall behind. Specifically, once we get into hive tech, whether it would have been lurkers or ultras or broodlords or any spell casters like a heavy viper infestor army, there's no real answer to that. So there's no setup into ghosts, right? There's no setup into liberators, ghost, tank. Again, it's a very cheap army here for Cure. Oh, nice snipe though. Okay. Very nice snipe. Lurker Den goes down. That should not have happened. And that means that Cure, he can hold on. does not have to worry about lurkers. Okay. Never mind. He can keep this going. Ideally, he does need gases though. He needs to take some gases soon to be able to afford a transition. Oh no! He scans. That was a very fortunate scan there for Cure. There's a whole position lurkers, Pappy. That was terrifying. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. Cuidado, Papi, cuidado. I could see it all before my eyes. I mean, regardless, he's running into Link. Jesus. He's still running into Link Bane. Now we have a transition, second starport into Liberators. Yeah, he's getting into Libs. Secure. He does take some baiting shots to the face. We'll deny the expansion at least. Denies the expansion. Here come the lurkers. We spoke about this earlier, how Cure, he's not ready for lurker tech. He's just now taking up. We have the fusion core. Fusion core's on the way. Ghost Academy's on the way. This is all late. Ling run back here into the mineral line. Lurkers are harassed here on the left-hand side, on the south side. Hatchery will go down. Nice pick goes here by Cure. He does deny the fourth or the fifth. Denies the fifth base time and time again. But SCVs are going down. Here comes the Lurker Viper. So a big power spike now for Shin. Oof, Lurkers, they hold their own. The Liberator does punish though. Here comes this around. Okay, an expensive loss here for Shin. But here comes the main army. And he wants that planetary. Oh, the medevacs! No! Yeah, the medevacs, they run into Hydras, losing 1, 2, 3 medevacs are free, 4 medevacs even. And medevacs, they get punished. Not many Hydras left over. Does get 1 Liberator. Just the 1. Yeah, so a messy fight from both sides. But just not enough anti-air, not enough Hydras. And Shin, he will lose every lurker here. We're getting messy. Every lurker goes down. Still no gases though. Yeah, very, very low. I mean, I say that. There is a gas bank for Cure. But the SCV count is still quite low. More mining is being denied. He's got the Academy, but no ghosts yet. I mean, the army itself here is quite low for Cure. We gotta send it. Collapsing in. Nice pickles here. Going for the mass power bombs, abducting the Liberator. As we mentioned, the army quality here for Shin is just greater than that, is superior to that of Cure. He's got the better composition. He's got the better army. Still denying mining. And Cure's just being outscaled. He's being outscaled. I did see a comment earlier talking about 3-3 versus 1-1. That was 1-1 melee and range. Shin has had +3 carapace for quite some time, which is more important. Specifically against a heavy marine army. He's had his carapace upgrades. And Shin is about to max. Shin, he's maxing out here with his Lurker Viper. What do we have here for Cure? We've got 3 ghosts. Okay. Let's go. We got 3 ghosts, Pappy. About to be 5. Let's catch 1 Lurker. Cure does rotate towards the south side. We'll see how Shin does handle himself, how he does engage. As we're going for a split push. Shin splits as well. Lunges in. Oh my god. It does lunge in, takes down the Liberator. At the same time, we do catch out the main army. Yeah, Liberators are all going to go down. Massive pickoffs. Cashing out every single Liberator. And now Shin can push. Now Shin can move out. He still has full NG on all these Vipers. And Kira's in trouble. EMP does not land. Does catch out the Banelings at least. Nicely done. Catching out the would-be Banelings. I believe there are no lurkers with the main army, only 2. Yeah, lurkers, they're elsewhere. Harassing instead. Rotates over towards the 3rd. Nice pickup. Cashing out 2 Liberators. Oh, just the one. Just the one Liberator. Army collapses in. Nice mine shot. Jesus. Mine shots have been solid, but there's still just not much left. Nice flying clouds covering the main army. Abducting whatever he can. Shin is overextending here. Yeah, he does overextend. He has to get the hell out of here, but he does kill 18 SCVs. Shin, he has to pull away. As 20 SCVs go down. Once again, Cure, he has no bank, he has no money. It's all or nothing. Nice snipes on the Vipers. Nice snipes. But a better surround. Catching out the ghosts. Ghosts are falling. Oh my god. Catching out 1, 2, 3 ghosts. From here, she just has to buy time. Just buy time, build up an army. 24 links in production. He needs more time, Pappy. Lurkers waddling in. Still harassing. Catching out the queens. Oh, the flanky dog. The tender flanking lurker. Again, very messy defense here from Shin. He's trying to hold on. He's so close. Gasito, papi, gasito. Oh my god. As we do have 2 more Liberators, okay. Liberators have arrived, so have lurkers. Ooh, that does change things. Yeah, lurkers, they stand their ground. Shinny finally got center right up and running. Did finally get it back up. Does extend 2 lurkers, not bad. Ooh, but he will pay the price here. Ghosts, they get abandoned. Yeah, Ghosts are abandoned. Medivacs is running out of NG. Heavy overstim here from Cure. He's overstimmed. Looks like the lurker was dealt with. Oh, right, it was attempting to flank earlier. True. Did attempt. And we're calming down. The dust does settle. What's important here, of course, is the economy. Cure, he needs another expansion. You can see he's trying to retake that triangular 3rd. Trying to. That's Cure. He needs bases. Let's get away. Let's barely pull away. Shin taking his own fresh expansions. Curie is being active. Shin should be able to build up faster. He's got 8 lurkers on the way. It's a lot of lunkers. I believe caught out an infestor. There are 0 liberators. Still on the way. Oof! Once again, a brutal mine shot. Have had some juicy connections so far this game. Oof. Yeah, Lurker's like, oh my god, they catch out the entire double drop. Yeah, late reactions here by Cure. At the same time, Cure does catch out a couple of Hydras. They're moving in. They're moving in, harassing mineral lines. Likewise, so is Cure. But SHIN does have a fresh mining base. Oh, the catching of the Ghost. Ghost have to pull away. Say pull away. There's a lot of damage dealt here to the planetary. A lot of lost mine time as well. SHIN collapsing in. Nice mine shots. Oof. Oh god. Once again, the mine shots are brutal. But we do land the power bombs. Oof. Power bomb here on the Medivacs. No ghost with the main army. Lurkers are still popping off. Can they kill the planetary? Nah, they cannot. Oh my god, the snipes. The snipes are crazy. Every lurker goes down. But this was still a main distraction. These ghosts, for how long were they out here, not with the main army? So heavy losses here for SHIN, but SHIN to take better fights. And again, has that fresh mining base. The expansions are getting up. We're on hold position. He's on hold position. Oh god! Oh my Jesus! Massive shots. Ah, that's what 4 ghosts going down. The hold position, papi. That's the SHIN. And GG gets called. Ghosts are getting called out, and with that SHIN, he will take game number 2. We're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Cure was hyper committed early on, going for an ARAX, going for essentially a 3-base all-in, going pure marine mine. We saw that eventually he got outscaled. We did emphasize that once the lurkers got into play, Cure, he was outscaled. He was taking some worse fights. He had to back off and build up into ghosts, build up into liberators. For a time there, we saw that SHIN was able to gain map control, able to punch the economy and build up his own. And then we had that back and forth where bases were going down, workers were going down as well. In the end, SHIN still did maintain a greater economy throughout the entire game. He was always up 20+ workers, and it was Cure that was struggling to maintain his own economy and had that more shaky transition into Ghost Lib. He had a shakier transition into Ghost Lib, and with that, we saw that, I mean, it was still, despite that, still back and forth, still very messy, but GG. GG, well played. With that, SHIN does force the ace match. Now we're loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Whew. We're getting into Ruby Rock, getting into the ace match here, and we'll see how this story ends as we load into a much smaller map this time. Much smaller map. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. It is SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. Whew, okay, so again, last game was a game of greed. We had both players go for economic and greedier builds. This time, Cure going back to 2x Reaper. I'm assuming 2x Reaper, bearing in mind the game 1, he went 2x Marine into a 3x Stim timing. True. Game 1 was crazy from Cure, but we'll see what he goes for this time. We're expecting Reaper play. We're expecting, I mean, this time we have an earlier gas. True. Earlier gas geyser, so 2x Reaper on the horizon for Cure. We'll see how SHIN does open up himself. So far, hatch gas pool. It is hatch gas pool out of our Zerg player. Raxes are being thrown down. Technically, we can double down and go for a 3rd Rax in the main. Keep an eye on Cure. Bearing in mind, this is not an all-in, right? This is an aggressive build. The goal here is to deny and delay the 3rd, right? To keep the economy low. So there's a very high chance that Ragnarok... Sorry, I keep saying that because he's playing under the Rag ID. there's a very high chance that SHIN, he does go for delayed link speed, and he does go into an earlier lair if he stays on 2 bases, into an earlier roach horn specifically. That is a common reaction, a common response to 2-Racks. The reason why roaches are a common response is because when you open up 2-Racks Reaper like this, you're going 2-Racks Reaper into a CC, into a delayed factory, right? You're typically turning this into a 2-on-1. 2-on-1 is reactor into reactor marine production, into tech lab, into stim, into factory, starport, medevacs, into delayed tanks. So roach all-ins and roach pushes can hit even harder. Meanwhile, link speed is being researched, but we're staying in gas. That's what's important here. So we are still going for link speed, but we are staying in gas. And SHIN will delay his third. So SHIN, he delays his third base. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. That should not have happened. And nice pick off. Oh, as things, they do not surround. But so far, a good start for Cure. He delays the expansion and he kills the drone. Now the big question becomes, SHIN, does he go for a lair or a roach warren, right? Which one is it going to be? Where does he spend his gas? Likewise, it's going to be in Cure to scat as well. Cure, he knows that, okay, he's on 2 bases, he's going for either a Bailey Nest, a roach warren, or a lair. Like, I got to figure it out. Cure needs to confirm. There's the follow-up. Reactor into tech lab, into stim. Into ByuN. And we have the answer, lair. Okay. Going for the faster lair. Still staying in gas. Now, we'll keep it on the gases. If we do take, say, a second and third gas geyser, this can lead into 2-base muta. So 2-base muta might be on the horizon. I would not advise muta play if you know that your opponent's going into a 2-on-1, into a stim timing. I feel like it should still be a roach warren into maybe fast roach speed, into a roach all-in. Yep, there it is. Okay, the roach warren gets thrown down here at the natural behind the mineral line. Gases are being taken, so this should be lined up with fast roach speed. It should be a roach all-in. It should be. Oh. Looks like there was, looks like Wardy was lacking out. Okay. Feels Wardy, man. European internet. I mean, what can we do, Pappy? What can we do? To be fair, specifically EU connection to Korea is not the most stable at times. That's also why we use VPNs whenever we have to connect to Korea. We use VPNs, man. As here comes roach speed. We can see that SHIN, he is joining up somewhat, squeezing out a couple of workers. Plus on Carapace is not going for the all-in. Okay. He's not going for the all-in. He is droning, he's macroing. He does make roaches here to defend, but only to defend. From here, he's building up into a 3-base economy. Now the question becomes, does he get a 4th? Specifically, does he join up at the 4th base? Right? This can still be a later all-in here for SHIN, which I wouldn't be opposed to, that would hit the 3rd. So for now, he's droning. He's saturating. Secure is moving in. Again, we have our safety roaches. Oh! And with that, Cure is deflected. Cure is zoned away. Infestation bit tells us that SHIN is taking gases, is getting a 4th base, and is going to be joining up. Okay, now with this pit we can go into safety infestors, right? We can go into safety infestors just to be safe, just to be secure. Then that can lead into a fast hive, then that can lead into ultras. There's the fast hive. No safety infestors. So risky maneuver here by SHIN. He's cutting corners. He's cutting corners. A very fast hive. And again, fast hive is usually for fast ultra tech. As the 4th base is denied, then now we forced to make infestors. As we mentioned, SHIN was being greedy. He's like, I don't need these infestors. And it's like, nah, I do. Does need them. Bearing in mind that without banelings and without baneling speed, infestors are necessary to keep up with the bio army to shut down marines. Otherwise, Roach is going to have a very hard time. There's that melee upgrade. If you recall, we did specify that if you see a hive in this kind of position, it screams ultras, and that's why we're switching to melee upgrades. Of course, initial carapace upgrades do also help benefit as well. Azkir is going for a double jump. We have 2 medivacs on the sub side, 2 more medivacs here towards the south as well. And there's that Ultra Cavern. And the goal, the win condition here for SHIN is survive until ultras. Survive back. Can he make it? Double jump into the main. SHIN is in position. We're Ravager here on the top side. Infestors here towards the 3rd. Armies unloaded. Screw's pushing forward. Oh. Does scan, does spot the infestors. Here comes the main push on the top side. Does get scouted. Catching out a couple of roaches. We can see the infestors, they do rotate. Good call. The infestors are needed for the main push. This double drop though does break through the lings. Yeah, lings are going down. Ooh, fungal does not land. He does miss the fungal. This double drop is getting out of hand. Yeah, it gets out of hand. SHIN, he did misjudge this. Did not split well. Losing 3 drones. Once again, doesn't quite catch the army. Better fungal towards the end though. Oof. Better fungal. Cure, he did lose a lot of his army here. He's backing off. And SHIN is holding. And what do you see? Ultra attack. Kindness plating is on the way. +2 melee is on the way. Getting to 2-2 upgrades. Getting into kindness plating. The ultras are popping out. And SHIN, he's made it. Remember, the win condition will survive until ultras. And the reality is that Cure, he's not ready for ultra attack. Not yet. No liberators, no ghosts. He does have a decent marauder count. And he has a couple of tanks behind this as well. His army is okay. But SHIN is here. SHIN commits in. Cure's out of position. Yeah, Cure's unsieged. Out of position. Infestor's going to be coming in. Shows his fungals. Ooh, does land one. Yeah, fungal does land. Mitra's going off. Ultras, they do commit in. Only one ultra though. The chain fungals. Is it enough? It's not enough. Yeah, the ultra does not break through, but he does get the mineral line. 20 SCVs. Okay. Does catch out 20 workers. While they don't catch the Banshee, Infestor goes down. But that was a big economic blow here for Cure. Oh, that one Banshee. 3 damage. That is one of the downsides of this style, is that you have limited anti-air. Your anti-air is queens and parasitic bombs. That's all your anti-air. Nothing else shoots up. By design. It's going to be all about the power bombs. And I guess fungals. He's pushing with his main army. We now have +3 carapace on the way. Nice focus firing. Catching up 4 drones. As both armies are maxing out, we have 3-3 on the horizon here for Cure. Cure, when it comes to tech, he has yet to get a second starport and yet to get a... There we go. Second starport now on the way. No academy yet. There's a fusion core. He wants liberators. Oh, as he's getting caught out. Not just SHIN, he just keeps pushing. It keeps moving out, denies the expansion. Cure, he's forced to respond. Forced to respond. As we're losing CCs. SHIN, he commits in. Oh. Does decide to commit. Nice blinding cloud. Going for the power bombs as well. But is this worth it? Does kill a CC. Bleeds out a couple of ultras. He does have to pull away. But he is pulling Cure apart. Ooh, oh gosh. The mine shots. Every time. Oh, he wants that CC. We get some decent blinding clouds. Once again on the main army. Ultras give chase. Leading around right here towards the third. Catching another tank. And forcing it with a friendly fire. Oof. Cleaning up the mines, bearing in mind that of course SHIN does have the greater economy. He's rebuilding, remaxing more ultras, and this time we have corruptors. Now we finally have some anti-air. The Spire is now done. +1 flyer attack is on the way. And remember, Cure, he never got that academy, right? Yeah, he never got the academy, so no ghost production. He's working on his liberators. I mean, you could just argue that Cure never had the economy to sustain for ghost production anyway. As Cure, he needs those SCVs. He needs those bases. And SHIN is giving him no time. Here, just clashing with the main army. At the same time, Lings, they do hit. Oh, they kill the CC this time. Kill the command center. Oh, Investor behind the army. Let's go. Investor coming from behind. Fungal does land. Massive connection. He's locked in. Yeah, the chain connections here. He's locked into the fight. Losing all the metamax. Brainley's finishing up in time. And Cure, he will lose almost everything. Farmers in supply, we have 5 more ultras in production. And SHIN is doing it. SHIN is doing it. The ultras are coming, and there's just no answer. Cure desperately trying to mine. Trying to maintain himself. Vipers are full of energy. And the ultras have arrived. Oh, not yet. there they are. It's like, where are the ultras, pappy? Curie's maxing out himself, true. is maxing out. It's still a very heavy bio army. It's just pure marine rotor mine. I mean, the mine shields have potential. See SHIN trying to push in from one single angle. I think Rama runs into a minefield. SHIN does give KURA a lot of time to build back up, so he's maxed out. We can see SHIN teching, going for the Greater Spire just in case, ready for Broodlords. Oh, okay, going for a Doom Drop, interesting. Let's go for the drop. Questioning commits in. He will take down the planetary. Doesn't get the mineral line. Does get the expansion once again, distracting Cure. Doom drop into the main. Does mass unload. We do see the Marauders, they hold their own. They will punish all these Ultras. They're on their own. Yeah, Ultras on their own, they just crumble. They need support. Where's the Ling Bane? It's in the main. Ling Bane is elsewhere. The army is getting overstimmed. Oof. Val's even catching under Medevac. And Medevac goes down. But SHIN did lose an expansion. He's got two more. He's got top right instead. Lings, they did kill some production buildings here, did distract, but nothing major. What was really important was killing the expansion, but we do have an orbital to replace. Galka, there are so many mines! Ah. The mines are popping off and they all survive as well. Messy trades here by SHIN. Oof, well, Painless they connect. And the army is heavily overstimmed. Oh my god, it's deep in the red. It's because there's only one medevac. Only one medevac. Ay, ay, ay. Minefield goes down. We have our mass ultra. SHIN is moving in. And we're trading bases. Trading expansions. SHIN, he responds. Oof. And massive ultra swipes going off. Nice target firing. Oh, the boys. Boys are being pulled. They do help. That's how low the army was. And Curie's just still been stuck defending this entire time. Losing another medevac. Nice snipe of the Viper. Nice snipe. Viper goes down. Ultras, they give chase. They get a couple of swipes in. Oof. Some heavy swipes on the buy. That's going to be 12, 13 SCVs going down. 12. Cure down to 33 workers. He's muling as best he can. That's all of his economy. The mules. That's all he's got. Again, barely an economy here for Cure. Just refuses to die. Ah. And SHIN maxes out. SHIN maxes out. Collapsing in once again. Oof. It's a lot of aliens going down. So once again a messy fight here from SHIN. Once again getting messy. As armies engaged, Lings, they do hit the low ground. They're coming in for the surround actually. On the mine. Doesn't quite collapse in the army, but this is all still doing more damage, right? Still no mining, no economy. Oh god, these wooden mines. They've been crazy, Pappy. Nice fungal. Fungal lands. Cure just being as efficient as possible, trading as best he can. Holds his own, catching on more ultras. 2 more ultras falling. These have been heavy trades here for SHIN. Expensive. Expensive trades. Oh, the mine shots. Not this time. And finally, SHIN, he overwhelms the army, catching out the ByuN. The final army here for Cure, heavily overstimmed. Losing everything, GG gets called, and SHIN, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew, GG, well played. SHIN, he will claim the series. A very, very intense back and forth here. But for the most part, specifically for this final game, Cure was on the back foot for a very long time when it came to his tech, when it came to his economy. He was losing mineral line after mineral line. He was contained on the lower base count. We did see some back and forth, of course, with SHIN also losing expansions, but for the most part, SHIN always had that economic lead over Cure. Likewise, Cure, he was also, he never teched up into Ghost. He was late to take up into Liberators, late to make that switch. We spoke earlier that there was a big power spike on the way in regards to the Ultras, and that was true. Once the Ultras came into play, Cure, he lost map control, he started losing bases, and that's when he started losing mineral lines as well. He had a bit of a more shaky transition into that later game. GG. GG, well played, and with that, SHIN, he will claim the series. And we have our grand finals. It's going to be a best of five between SHIN and ByuN. Bearing in mind that ByuN, he was waiting in the grand finals, waiting for the win of the series. He took down Clem earlier. Did take down Clem in that TVP, which was also quite close. True. It's also close. But let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our grand finals here. We're going to be jumping into our best of 5, and spawning in the bottom, or in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is SHIN. Sorry, just opening up, venting the room. Oh my god, as we're settling into our best of 5, settling into our grand finals, and we do have ByuN opening up, pulling a Cure, quote unquote, as we're going for a 2x Reaper opener. Of course, ByuN, he is more notorious for this build. Did of course pioneer this build a couple of years ago and did influence the meta. Meanwhile, oh, we got a lot of banter here. What's going on? They're speaking so much. Hold on. Trying to whip out. Jesus. The Google Translate is failing me. If there's any native speakers in the chat, I would appreciate it. Este SHIN, este ByuN. Let's delve into our grand finals. Let's go. For now, we do have our 2x Reaper. Just Reapers are going to be moving out across the map. The Overlord does confirm we'll get eyes on both Raxes. Bearing in mind, we could see a third Rax in the main, but ByuN is going for a CC on the low ground, and the Overlord should get eyes on this. As Reapers are moving out. Reapers are moving out. SHIN, of course, confirms. I imagine SHIN is commenting on this. SHIN, at least from Google Translate tells me that these when he saw the opening, he was like, it was a bad idea building Raxes. And then then ByuN was laughing. No. What have you done? As we're going for a Bane Bust. Oh, okay. So if you recall, when we saw this build that Cure executed, 2-Axe Reaper versus SHIN, SHIN responded with Roaches. Here, SHIN is responding with a Bane Bust. He's going for an all-in. He's going for the all-in, and the rationale is the same. Ooh, and it's going to punish so hard. It's a big gamble, but it's going to work out well for SHIN. What is happening here is 2-Axe Reaper into not a 2-on-1, into a 3cc 2-on-1. Unlike Cure, ByuN is going for a very fast third command center. This is a greedier build. Bearing in mind that SHIN doesn't know this, by the way. SHIN, he doesn't know how greedy ByuN is being necessarily. Oh, God damn it, SHIN. Actually, he does collapse in. Catching out the Reapers, he gets one. He gets one, he's going to get two, and he should get all four. And remember, there's no drones. There's no drones. Here comes the Bane Bust. ByuN has no idea. And ByuN was being greedy here. Again, delayed production, delayed follow-up. No scouts either. The Reapers, they failed to confirm. And here comes the Bane Bust. And ByuN is even going double eBay. He's going 3cc, double eBay before starboard. This is the greediest build you can go for. He's going for a safety Hellion, thankfully. So he'll have one Hellion to defend and a handful of Marines. Oh, boy. There's one Marine. Soon to be three. Okay, we got 3 Marines to defend. They're going to be Vanilla Marines as well. Bear that in mind. Vanilla Marines. Here comes the Bane Blast. Breaks on through. Don't waste the Banelings on the ByuN army either. Ooh. Breaks into the main. There's one Hellion to defend. We got to pull the boys. Protect the Hellion. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, at least they pull away. They avoid the SCVs. We have more Banelings waddling in as well. Another Hellion. Get out of here. Yeah, the Hellion gets surrounded. Hellion falls. Baneling connects. And this is critical damage. This is critical damage already here. 15 dead SCVs. I say that ByuN does rewall. True. ByuN, he does rewall. And can ByuN make a game out of this here? He does have 3 CCs. Is this not enough damage? Is this not enough? 17 SCV kills. Stim was not denied. I mean, we're still not done. True. We're still not done. The Rax does catch fire. Boys are being pulled to repair. And ByuN holds. Wow, ByuN holds on. Stim wasn't denied. If Stim was denied, then I would prefer SHIN's position here. But ByuN, he barely does hold on. ByuN has the greater economy. He has an even worker count plus an extra mule because of the 3rd CC, and he can rebuild that much faster as well. ByuN is ahead. This was an all-in that failed. Yeah, the all-in has failed. ByuN is holding. Stim finishes. And SHIN is in trouble here. SHIN is going for the Roach Warren follow-up. In my mind, SHIN is going to drone up to like 2.5 bases and then go for like a Roach all-in, but we'll keep an eye on SHIN. He could try to macro out of this. Oh boy. As again, he did not do enough damage. And remember, ByuN, he went double eBay as well. Like, he's getting his 1-1 upgrades. Yeah, there it is, Roaches. As I mentioned, SHIN cannot macro. Like in this position, after a failed all-in, you cannot macro out of this. So he's going for a second all-in, a second wave. No lair. No lair, no upgrades. Roaches are coming. And the hope for SHIN is to catch ByuN with his pants down. Does get a Hellion, but oh, so many Lings do fall. Oh, surrounds another. Miscontrol out of ByuN. Yeah, brutal Hellion shots. But the Hellions are distracted. They have not scouted the Roaches yet. You can see the Roaches, they intentionally do avoid the Hellions. Ravagers are morphing in, and again, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Now, with the help of the Ravager piles, we can break through the wall. That is true. And behind this, no tanks. I don't see any tanks. I don't see any defensive Hellions. The Hellions getting caught in the center of the map is brutal because now they cannot defend. And there's no bunker. ByuN doesn't know. ByuN, he didn't see the Roaches. There's no. If he had scouted, there'd be like 2 bunkers here already, and we just pre-pull the boys to repair. But again, no bunkers. ByuN is getting caught with his pants down for a second time. The pants were never on. Combat shields is denied. The wall will break. Yeah, it breaks through the wall, takes down the production, denies any additional marines. We have our first tank on the way. Boys are being pulled. And here come the marines. Sorry, here come the lings. Army steps in. Ravagers don't kite back. That's a couple of roaches falling, but the bio army will fall. GG. GG gets called. SHIN, he overwhelms the army, and SHIN takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. SHIN does claim a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game number 1 here. SHIN initially with the Bane Bust did not do enough damage. He did trade, but he did not kill ByuN. Thankfully, though, in the follow-up, ByuN didn't scout. ByuN didn't see that SHIN was going for a secondary all-in, and ByuN was still being very greedy. ByuN still going double upgrades, double eBay. ByuN had no bunkers, of course, because he did not know he needed them. Didn't realize he was in so much danger. GG. GG, well played. And with that, SHIN does take a lead in the series. As that leads us into game number 2. Let's go. No, SHIN, he was correct when he said that you shouldn't have made a Rax. Cap. Ah, no. And spawning in the bottom side here of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran. Oh, so we have to fix up the player names. True. There we go. We have our Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. Say build. As ByuN once again is setting up for his Raxes on the low ground. So last game he went 2-Axe Reaper into a fast 3rd CC. He was punished by the Bane Bust into the eventual Roach all-in. This time, show us what you got. As we have a pool first build here by SHIN. Ooh, SHIN is hoping, he was gambling a little bit here that ByuN will go CC first. Remember, what did Cure do on this map? He also went CC first. CC first is more common on Mothership, and it feels like SHIN wants to try to punish that. But here it's going to be 2-Axe Reaper. Okay. Yeah, it's pull into hatchery late gas. Late gas is at a SHIN, which means late link speed. Aye. The Overlord will at least confirm. Will at least scout. Scout will confirm. Now he knows. Overlord does get eyes on the Raxes. And behind this, we do have earlier Queen production. We do have 4 Lings on the way. Gases are, of course, being taken. And we'll see if SHIN goes for an early Roach Warren. I don't think he'll go for another Bane Bust. But we'll see. Link speed is on the way, and you can see here he's still mining gas. So we're thinking either a Baneley Nest or a Roach Warren. Technically, this could lead into a fast lair, but I'm leaning towards a tech choice, like a tech building instead. Meanwhile, we have a 3rd Rax behind this. Ooh, 3 Rax stim follow-up here. A much more aggressive follow-up out of ByuN. Much more aggressive, not greedy this time. 3rd base is being taken by SHIN. What's that gas on? Now, at this point, because he's getting another expansion, I'm leaning more towards a lair. Which I do like more against what ByuN is doing. Like, the last thing you want to do is all in a player that's going 3 Rax. 1 drone goes down. Reaper gets turned away. We got the money. Show us the lair. Oh, never mind. Going for the hidden Roach Warren behind the main. Now, SHIN had the money for this earlier. He chose not to get it. I believe the reason for this is because of the Reapers. He wanted to hide the tech structure here from the Reapers. So Reapers get zoned away, and we are going not for the lair, for the Roach Warren into gases. This feels like an early Roach rush. But he's up against a 3-racks. Again, this time it's going to be a bigger, larger ByuN army. More Marines, earlier combat shields. As this time we have two tech labs. Usually it'd be one. So a heavier ByuN army, faster upgrades. Obviously the Roach Warren has its place here defensively, but in my eyes, SHIN is going to be aggressive. And who out-aggresses who? I do favor whoever is the defender. So if ByuN was being defensive here, I would favor him when it comes to holding onto the natural. If ByuN is going to push into SHIN, I favor SHIN. And ByuN is pushing. Oof. So both players are being aggressive and neither player knows. Like, SHIN has... Okay, SHIN, he sees a factory. Now he has a better idea. It could still be a faster TC. But SHIN, he will catch reinforcements. Very nice catch you out of SHIN. Yeah, catching out the Marines. Getting us around. 1, 2, 3, 4 Marines falling. Oh. Has to respect the main army. Has to respect it. ByuN is still pushing. He doesn't know he's pushing into roaches. ByuN doesn't know. He doesn't know. Now he does. Yeah, now he's aware. SHIN getting ready for this round. Doesn't want to move in too soon. He wants to wait. He has to be careful. Oof, yeah, Lings are being thrown away. Lings are thrown away. SHIN was a bit premature. Here come the Ravagers. Here comes the all-in. Yeah, here comes the Ling at Roach Ravager all-in. ByuN, he did bleed out a lot of Marines already. Tank production has begun. But this will hit before the tank arrives. The tank will spawn in mid all-in. Boys are being pulled. Oh. Gotta be careful. He's diving on the Ravagers. He's trying. Files a zone away. Are there enough Lings? No. The answer is no. Lings are falling. Ravagers are exposed. The Marines, they stim in. They want those Ravagers. Biles are buying time. But he does get on top of the Ravagers here. Yeah, gets 1, gets 2. Only 4 Ravagers left. And SHIN, he's running out of steam here. He wants that tank. The Biles. Oof. 3 Ravagers left. And SHIN is running. SHIN, he's running up back at home. Ooh, the Biles, they will connect. Oh no, they don't. Tank survives. He wants it. Yeah, 1 Bile's not enough. ByuN holds. And where exactly are we? Now, a couple of things here. If ByuN had a 3rd CC, I would favor ByuN, 100%. But ByuN doesn't have a 3rd CC. So ByuN's economy here is in the gutter. He's down to 37 SCVs. He is muling, that is true, but he's undersaturated. He's going for his own 3-1-1 setup here on 2 bases. It looks like ByuN is being forced into an all-in, basically. ByuN is being forced to push, he's being forced to fight because he has no economy behind this. Meanwhile, SHIN has been droning. SHIN has been droning. SHIN is going for double upgrades at double Evo chamber. He's going for 1-1 behind this. Lair is now done. Roach speed is on the way. The longer this game goes on, the better it is for SHIN. And ByuN, ooh, gets a 3rd CC. This tells us that ByuN is not going all in. He might push out, but he's not going to commit as hard. It looks like he's going to leave his tanks at home. He's going for a Medivacs. He's going for a bio drop. Yeah, he's going for a Marine drop play, which means SHIN, he will maintain his lead. He will maintain his lead. There's no all-in coming his way. There's nothing to really threaten him. All that SHIN has to do is survive and keep up with the Medivac drops, which is easier said than done, right? Like, the big downside of this composition for SHIN is it's a very slow army, right? It's Roach Ravager based, not Ling Bane based, so it's a bit of a slower composition, limited anti-air. So ByuN can find damage, but the pressure is on ByuN. Ooh, speaking of pressure, double expand. 3rd CC and the 4th CC. I mean, ByuN knows he's behind. He knows he's behind, so to try to macro out of this, he will double expand. Bold move out of ByuN. As from here we do see ByuN being active with his drop play. As I mentioned before, like the pressure's on ByuN to be active and to find some damage, pick off some workers, pick off some lings, catch out some overlords. It's on SHIN to keep up. And a couple of drones do survive. Yeah, clutch moves. Clutch moves out of SHIN. So far as keeping up. Now, what's also important here is that if you notice something, SHIN, ooh, as he does catch a full medevac, that should not have happened. Yeah, ByuN inattentive. SHIN is not droning. He droned up a little bit here, but do you see what I see? I see under saturation. I see what? I see a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in is 67 drones for SHIN. SHIN is maxed. SHIN, he's maxing out with 2-2 with a lair tech army. SHIN is going for a 3-base all-in. He commits. Now he's pushing into a massive siege line, and this time, very good setup. We have 3 bunkers, we have all these tanks. ByuN, he does recognize the all-in coming his way. Is it enough? Breaks down 1, breaks down 2 bunkers, gets on top of one of the tanks. There's still a lot of tanks left over, another tank rallies in. And ByuN, he's trying to hold on, he's down to 3 tanks. 3 tanks left over. He's making a stand. But here come the ByuNs. Yeah, here come the ByuNs, getting 1 more tank. There's 2 tanks remaining. Down to 1, down to 0. Yeah, 0 tanks left. GG gets called. Contamination of the factory, and SHIN takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very aggressive series so far. Remembering game one, SHIN went for a Bane Bust. Went for a Bane Bust, did fail, then went for the Roach all-in follow-up. It was a 2-base Roach all-in. Here in game 3, we saw the initial Roach rush, but it was a little bit different. Here in game 2, both players were hyper aggressive. Both players were all in. We had a 3-axe out of ByuN, we had the Roach rush out of SHIN, and we spoke about how we did favor whoever was the initial defender, and that was SHIN. SHIN, he caught the reinforcements, he collapsed on the ByuN army, he counterattacked across the map, and SHIN did cripple ByuN. He crippled him enough to build up, to drone up into a later 3-base all-in, maxing out with Roach Ravager. Maxing out on 6 to 7 workers, and with that, we have a 2-0 lead for SHIN. Can ByuN recover, and can we start the comeback? Can we begin the comeback and have it back and forth? Let's go. The other question becomes, so far, game 1 was a 2-base all-in, game 2 was a 3-base all-in. Do we finally macro? Does SHIN finally macro, or do we commit into another all-in? We're gonna find out. I mean, this is also partially on ByuN. We'll get into it. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran down in the series, down heavily in the series. Can he bounce back? Can he recover? For Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is SHIN. Hold on, I'm trying to Google Translate. The Google Translate is failing me. No. Are they talking about Percival? They're talking about that last game. Okay. I believe they're talking about the all-in from last game. I think ByuN was like asking like what like how could you break through, because like here he's talking about like the 6 tanks that ByuN had. I'm talking about like the defensive line with 6 tanks and 3 bunkers, and ByuN was like I had the setup, and SHIN's like, nah, experience, papi, I got you. Oh no. Bearing in mind, of course, that ByuN, he was behind economically after losing all those workers, and that's another big factor, of course, when it comes to ByuN's position. But from here, we're building up, and this time, for the first time, standard opener out of ByuN. Standard opener. No more 2-rank Reaper. That kind of goes into what I was alluding to earlier, how a lot of the all-ins that SHIN has been going for has been a reaction. Just catching up. Ravage is one hell of a unit. I mean, as we tried to emphasize, I see Sneak Josh in the chat, ByuN, he was behind economically because of the initial aggression, because of the failed 3x stim that ByuN went for. That's why he had a weaker mid game. That's why SHIN was the first player to max out. Remember, he was maxed out, he had 200 supply. Just to re-emphasize. As from here, we're just building up. Hatch gas pool, mining gas early on though, once again. So what I was going to say here is that in game 1 and game 2, what prompted the aggression out of SHIN were the 2x Reaper openers. This time it's a standard opener, going for a third TC before Starport, but SHIN is still mining gas, and this is looking like 2-base lair. I mean, SHIN has no third, right? SHIN, he has a very, very late third expansion, very delayed, so we're leaning more towards lair tech, then we'll see where he takes us. So eyes are on SHIN. We are leading into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance by ground, it does favor aggression, has a more open third base, but there it is, lair is on the way. So this time there's no fast Roach Horn. So from here we can go into either 2-base Muta, 2-base Hydra, or 2-base Roach. All three are builds that SHIN does mix in from time to time. This time it's nowhere near as aggressive or assertive as last time. I see a fourth Gas Geyser. I see a fourth Gas Geyser here. We might be thinking about Aspire, but I'm not ruling out a Hydra Den. Both SHIN and Solar have been playing around a lot with 2-base Hydra all-ins. Or 2-base Hydra heavy play, where you skip your Baneliness and you go into +1 range and you go into a very heavy Hydra army. Very Miyamika-esque. But a lot of the Korean Zerg players have been embracing that, so I don't want to rule it out. So we'll see. We'll see what is done here with the lair. See what is done. Yo, yo, ByuN, he's been watching. He's been spending too much time on Reddit, baby. Aye. Banshee opener into the Raven. Let's go. That Raven, of course, is going to be designed to save scans and to try to shut down and deny creep spread. The downside, of course, is that making the additional Raven means you have less Banshee harass, and we are going to be delaying Meteoric production as well. Meanwhile, there it is. There's the Hydra Den. As I mentioned, we didn't want to rule it out. If you've been watching ZVT as of late, if you're watching Solar and SHIN, you'll know that this is a common build that they've both been embracing, is to go 2-base Hydra. They've both been playing around a lot with it. I think we've seen it a little bit out of Rogue, but it's mainly Solar and SHIN that come to mind. As Hellions, they do threaten to dive. Wings are keeping up. Here zones away. Yeah, it's going to be zoned away. We can see that Ragnarok. Oh, sorry. We can. God damn it! Not again. SHIN, he's cutting worker production. SHIN is getting his third base up and running. He's cutting workers at 55. You can see here only one Eva chamber plus 1 carapace about to finish up. He's working towards specifically those Hydra upgrades. He's going for the all-in. We spoke about it, the Ling Hydra all-in. It's coming. ByuN still has yet to confirm. Hydras, they keep themselves hidden. Yeah, Hydras, they do keep themselves hidden here towards the left-hand side. There is no cloak, and he will catch the Banshee. Banshee does pull away in time. Banshee pulls away. SHIN, he sends everything across the map. All the Lings, all the Hydras. He commits. Okay, ByuN's on the high ground. At least he does scout this ahead of time. So the high ground contamination here on the Tech Lab. Ooh, denying combat shields. Okay. Bold move, not stim. Stim is done. Stim is complete. Denial here, delay on combat shields. Didn't go for the factory. Second tank is also coming. And here comes SHIN. Of course, ByuN can armor shred the Hydras. He's going for it. Where are the Lings? Lings are a little bit late. Here we go. Ling's now diving in. Getting on top of the tanks. The boys are being pulled. And can he break through the tank line? He cannot. Yeah, the tanks, they stand strong. The Marines, they still on forward. And ByuN, he will shut this down. He will shut this down completely. It was all or nothing. And SHIN, he will lose the entire army. The ByuN army, he stims. And he wins. He breaks on through. Now, it did cost him 23 SCVs. Did lose all these SCVs. But ByuN is still ahead economically. Fun fact. He still has that worker advantage. He still has that economic lead thanks to the mules. SHIN did not have enough. I believe that if SHIN was able to get this unscouted and get across the map unseen, different story. But again, ByuN, he had time to react, time to respond. And the Hydras, they cannot defend themselves. They can't defend themselves back. They're so fragile. Again, there was just that one big timing that SHIN had. That one all in. And with it failing, it's all falling apart. The boys are being pulled into the Marines. GG gets called, and ByuN does fight back, does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth here. Again, this Hydra all-in, we have been seeing it have success, but ByuN did see it ahead of time. He was able to scout it, able to respond, able to react, able to set up back at home with his bio army, with his tanks, with his Raven as well, which also did kind of come into play. I mean, I don't think the armor shred really was that impactful. Like, the Hydras were already vulnerable without it, to be fair, but the link dive was less than ideal. You know, the boys being pulled was beautiful there for ByuN, as even though he lost 23 SCVs, he saved his tanks. He preserved his bio army. It was worth it. It was worth losing all those SCVs. And with that, ByuN does fight back, and we're getting to the Old Republic for Game 4. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner here of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran, we have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing himself, currently teamless. It is SHIN. Leading the series 2-1. Let's go. Let us go. We are here. SHIN, he still needs one wild. Let's go. He's going for the proxy hatch block. He's an animal, Pappy. Here we go. The hatchery gets thrown down. ByuN, he's going for, thankfully, a Rax expand, not a CC first. But that does also mean that there's going to be plenty of progression on this hatchery. And that will threaten ByuN. We'll see if ByuN pulls the boys to deal with this. It might be too late. It might just be too late. Just because it's going to be such a late reaction, such a late scout for ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Now he knows. And now he does see, he does react with his add-ons, and he sets up on the high ground. Again, this hatchery should finish. With this, we can get a queen out, and we can start to spread creep. This will delay the expansion even further, spreading creep, forcing out additional scans. Ideally, you want to be spreading creep terminals towards every edge of the natural. So here, behind the mineral line, behind the gas geyser, closer to the edge, just to force out as many scans as possible. So here comes that queen, here comes the creep. Behind this, SHIN should be droning. He's making a handful of lings here to apply some pressure. Yo, he can start some spine crawlers as well. I don't see SHIN pushing up the ramp, but I believe this should all just be to delay. But depending on the setup here, because of the... Oh, he's going for a second Rax. He's going for a delayed factory. Oh. Without any Hellions and without any tank production, that means that the spine crawlers can actually threaten this. The Overlord is moving in, the Overlord will provide high ground vision, and the spines can chip away at the depots. Here comes that first tumor. As we mentioned, the most important thing, of course, is setting up all those tumors. And remember that if creep exists, the natural cannot be taken. So we're going to spread as many tumors as possible. Green has to be careful. Spine crawler does move forward. Behind this, now SHIN is droning. As we mentioned, I don't really think SHIN's goal here is to kill, it's just to delay. And with the added benefit here of these spine crawlers, you can even just chip away and even supply block. And again, I do think this is just a really risky maneuver from ByuN to knock over the factory. Ah, Tumor gets focused. That was a mistake there from SHIN. Tumor was too close. Deeper goes down. And again, with only vanilla Marines, like, he can't break out. Like, ByuN cannot break out with this. Not for a long time, not without stim. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Deeper taking a lot of damage, no repairs yet. Show us that creep tumor. As there we go, second Deeper falls, now going for the add-ons, going for the reactor. Again, ByuN cannot break out of this. Yeah, I feel like ByuN fumbled a little bit. Obviously, when stim finishes and when the upgrades kick in, ByuN can break out and he can stim, of course. He can stim freely. Even here, Sub says forward. It does take down one of the spines. Takes down the other. Now it's going to be up to SHIN to abandon this position. And again, he's been droning, right? He's been droning, he's been saturating. The scan does take down one tumor, but there's still another here behind the gas. And we can maybe get another here behind the mineral patch. Remember, the queen is still alive. Oh, he wants the queen. He gets it. Queen goes down. There's the second scan. There's still an active tumor here towards the third base. So that was two scans being utilized. And ByuN has to find damage with this army. He is so delayed in this expansion. The problem is that SHIN is already on 2-base economy. He's already on 2 bases. He's now claiming a third, and he's building up his roaches. Like, the roaches are amassing as we speak. As here comes that Roach Ravager. It is building up. Oh. There's a collapse on the Bio Army. Marines, they try to trade, but again, Virtual Ravager is just so hefty here. It's so beefy. SHIN holds his own. And we got some catching up to do here. Now, what I'm most concerned about here is that we could see a repeat of game number 2. What happened in game 2? Well, SHIN was able to get an early lead early on, and then he droned up to 67 workers. He droned up to a 3-base economy, got a 4th base just for larva, and then he went into a maxed out Roach Ravager move out. A big 2-2 timing. I think it was 1-1 or 2-2. I think it was 1-1. But he went for a big all-in, and I'm leaning towards seeing that here as well. Now, ByuN isn't out of this. There's a lot of potential for ByuN to recover, specifically with drop play, right? We have reactored medevac here, reactored medevac production out of ByuN. Medevacs are on the way, and then we can start to be active and move out across the map and find overlords, deny creep, and potentially even get some economic damage. So here come those medevacs. Catching at the overseer. Safety infestation bit on the way. SHIN he can take up into infestors. The infestation bit tells us that most likely SHIN will not go for an all-in, that SHIN will get a 4th base and macro up. Macro into Hive Tech, into Infestors, into Ultras. That's the direction we're going in. Double drop is spotted. Do have our infestors on the way. Again, because there are no banelings, SHIN has to rely on fungal growths. Let's rely on those fungals. ByuN simming in. Oh, he wants a queen. And it looks like he should get it. There we go, denies the expansion. Queen goes down. Nice pickup. Hive is on the way. As we mentioned, the goal here, the end goal should be for Hive Tech. It should be for Ultras. SHIN is almost there. Oh. Let's pull away. Yep, there's the melee upgrade. If we saw +1 range on the horizon, then that would be more indicative of Hydras and Lurker Tech. But due to the melee upgrade, it's more indicative of Ling, Bane, Ultra. So we're finally getting a macro game. True. We have yet to experience a macro game between these two players. Microbial Shroud? Okay. I mean, I'm impressed that I didn't even stumble on remembering what that upgrade was, because we never see it. But sure. Sure. Okay. What? I mean, it's meant to be more useful now. For those that don't remember, in the latest patch, Microbial Shroud did get a big change. And now it works against ranged attacks, not just air attacks like it did previously. So there was a brief little period last year in November, December. Like November, December of last year. Oh, that's a full medevac goes. Dark, is that you? Oh my god. Catching out a full medevac, brutal pickoff. But last year, a couple of months ago, November, December, a lot of Zerg players were playing around with Microbial Shroud Ultras in ZVP. And there was a little bit of success with it until it got shut down. Protoss players started responding more with a heavy immortal count, and even with Microbial Shroud, like heavy immortals just destroy Ultras. And the meta kind of shifted, of course. But there was a brief period where this was being used by specifically the European Zerg players. So think Lambo and Raynor. Like Lambo and Raynor. They were playing around with it. We saw a little bit of this in ZVT, of course. And I feel like SHIN's ahead enough and comfortable enough to embrace it here. It's been a while. Oh my, as he almost gets another medevac. SHIN. Ay, ay, ay. The tracking, like as that medevac is one shot away from going down. Ragnarok is built up. Catching out 2 drones. SHIN, he is maxing out. I mean, both players are. Bearing in mind as well that one of the big differences here, as ByuN was kind of like stumbling his way into the mid game, is that SHIN, he's maxed out with a Hive Tech army. ByuN is not ready for this. ByuN has a very, oh my god, he's very tank heavy here. No ghosts, no liberators, going for pure tank essentially here to survive. He's got 11 tanks, soon to be 13. But here comes my Microbial Shroud. Helping to cover the Ultras. Tanks are falling. There's just a non-stop Microbial Shroud. He breaks through. Yeah, breaks through the siege line. Oof. You can see here without Microbial Shroud, the Ultras, they just melt, they evaporate. But hey, he got into the mineral line, took down most of the tanks, if not every tank. And with that, that is critical damage. 25 SCVs. The Vials, they kill the CC. Yeah, the command center does go down. Assuming there's no repair in time. Yeah, it does fall. So no command center. Likewise, that was what, 10 tanks falling? 9. That was 9 tanks going down. ByuN, he had built up to 11. Lost 9, and now SHIN can back off and do that again. Now that did cost him all the infestors, so the next time we see this, there won't be Microbial Shroud. Like, it was kind of like a one and done sort of thing. Now we're back into just pure Ling Ravager infestor, sorry, Ling Ravager Ultra. We have the Spire on the way just in case. Liberator production has begun. And ByuN is hurting. ByuN is hurting. You can see once again he's trying to rebuild that tank count. Oh, Jose collapse in. The Lings, they come in from behind. Another tank. The tanks were exposed. That's going to be 4 tanks going down. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will claim the series 3-1, taking down ByuN and becoming this week's KungFu Cup, at least week number 3, champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. SHIN, he will claim the series. SHIN, he will win the first weekly of 2026. Like, am I crazy? Like, it's quite rare. It's quite rare to have Zerg champions, and I'm curious here. Hold on. I want to say Solar, he won a weekly this year as well, right? I'm pretty sure he did. Wardy, Pegasus Cup, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and KungFu Cup, and KSL. All right, hold on, we'll double check. But GG, well played. It's quite rare to see, but SHIN, he does pop off. Hyper aggression, by the way, and reliant on ZVT. I will say that SHIN, he was able to avoid all the top Protoss players. He did not play against, you know, your herOs or classics or Clems. I guess Clem is Terran. Against SHIN. So SHIN, he was relying a lot more on his EVT, and we saw him pop off against both Cure and ByuN, and this is a very aggressive series. A lot of all-ins, Bane all-ins, Roach all-ins, hyper-aggression. This was the only game that did last into the late game, but even then, SHIN had a lead, had the advantage coming into this after dealing so much damage early on when it came to his Roach aggression, right? Then was able to build up and get into his own hive tech and get into the late game after taking a lead. So do bear that in mind. But GG, well played. GG, well played. Let me just double check here. I need to check the other weeklies. Okay, Wardy TV Monday. We've yet to have a Zerg champion in the Wardy TV Mondays this year. So none in the Wardy TV Mondays. Did we have a Solar win in Pegasus Cup? I want to say we did. Okay, we had Solar did win this year in Pegasus Cup. Okay, so we've had 0 Zerg champions in the Water TV Mondays. We've had Solar, he did win in Pegasus Cup. And what about Tuna Cups? Did we have Solar win? SHIN, yeah. SHIN, he's our only Zerg champion in Tuna Cups. So let's go. This is the, I want to say the fourth Zerg weekly win of the year. Let's go. Este SHIN, papi, este SHIN. Which is momentous. GG, well played. GG, well played. Does claim the win here. And again, with the more unique style, like I should say that players like Rain or players like SherO don't really embrace this kind of more aggressive style of like hyper aggression. Partly it was a reaction to the 2x Reaper builds that we were seeing from Cure and ByuN. That is true. It was partially a reaction, but at the same time, like even on some of the more macro games, like we still saw some really heavy Hydra play. Sorry, we still saw some very heavy lair tech play. Game 3, for example, was a Hydra all-in out of SHIN. Which did kind of fall on its face, but it was scouted ahead of time, and ByuN was able to shut it down. But GG, well played. GG, well played. Congratulations here to SHIN. Shout out to ByuN for making it to the finals and for bringing down Clem on his way to the finals as well. True. It was a tough road there for ByuN. Tough road, but GG, well played. Congratulations. And with that, we have crowned our champion for week 3 of KungFu Cup. Bearing in mind the week number 4 of KungFu Cup just began. I believe it just now started, I want to say. It was a little bit earlier. That's about an hour ago. But that's being covered by Steadfast. It's being covered by Rotterdam, so you can check that out there if you wish. We'll be covering it next week via replays. Again, when it comes to KungFu Cups and Voice TV Mondays, they do start at a better time nowadays, but they still end very, very late for us, so we will be relying on replay coverage for those events for the time being. That might change in the future, but just as a heads up if you're curious. Otherwise, live coverage of those tournaments are typically done by Rotterdam, Steadfast, and by Wardy. They usually have you covered. Otherwise, GG, well played. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being, and do give some love to some of the other Zerg streamers out there. Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Your Code Bar is streaming? Let's go. It's been a while. But we'll give some love to sort of. We've been raiding Trigger quite a bit, but I don't think he's live today. Yeah. In honor of SHIN, we'll give sort of some love. Give him some love. show them how to do it now, except for Zurich champions. I mean, this was just like hyper aggression, hyper all-ins out of SHIN. It's very SHIN-esque. As I mentioned before, Solar has been playing similar to this. Like Solar, he has been embracing this a little bit, but Solar isn't as heavily reliant on this sort of style. So Solar, he sprinkles it into his play here and there. I don't really see Rain or Serral doing much of this. It's not really their style to be this roach heavy or to be as aggressive. More stylistic for Solar, sorry, for SHIN. More stylistic, which isn't a bad thing. But GG, well played, and with that, congratulations. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the night. We'll be back tomorrow. Exclamation mark. I don't think we have. Do we have a calendar command? Heading on over here, we have the rest of our schedule. We just wrapped up with KungFu Cup. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday broadcast as well. We have the Podcast tomorrow evening. We have TLMC on Friday, Amantes on Saturday, SDO and STC over the weekend. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft this week. We did miss out on PegaStar Cup this morning. I was just too fatigued. Like I got zero sleep, so I just could not handle a PegaStar Cup in the morning. It would have been a rough broadcast. And the casting would not have been too good. So I do apologize. We should be catching with PegaStar Cup at some point in the future. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys this tomorrow morning for Wardy TV Monday, or tomorrow evening for the podcast. See you then. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.